Hey everyone, how you doing, Ed, M and J? Looks like a folks are a little bit slow getting in tonight. Must be out in the hives doing some work. Hey Russell, let me go ahead and put up the invite and post it. All right, it's links posted to the thing. Hey everyone, Steve. It's still still doing snowflakes. My goodness, Russell. That sounds like Ian Stepler up there. I watched his video a little bit this afternoon. Hey, Ed, and so they're getting, I don't know, at least 3 or 4 inches of snow up there. It seems like. Hey, Bruce, good to see you. And there's Pennsylvania from up there in State College, PA. Mitchell. Anybody wants to come in, come on in. I got the link posted up. Hey, Randy. Kyle, how's everything over in New Zealand? Hey, Keith. Yeah. Yeah, I seen that where Ian got stuck in his driveway again last night and had to walk in. Hey, Ben. Robert caught the third swarm of the year today. Hey, that's good as long as hopefully it's not your swarms out of your hives. Kyle says it's wet over there in New Zealand. So here today it was quite warm, about 80 degrees, sunshine and everything. Of course, I couldn't get out into the hives because I was working. I've had some issues with my right SI hip joint being real painful in my leg. So I haven't really been wanting to get out into, I've been wanting to get into our hives to do some work on them, but it's been kind of on the painful side. But hopefully tomorrow afternoon before the storms hit again. Hey, James. Hey, there's Todd. How's your back doing, Todd? I know we both have kind of in the same boat. I'm still having issues. And I bought new work boots to try to keep my legs and stuff straight and flat, and that seemed to help some, but my right leg still giving me problems. So honey flow's doing pretty good here. I've got at least a super and a half of nectar on each hive for the most part. There are I got a carpenter, got it good yesterday. Feel a ton better. Well, I wish he'd do mine. I've been going to him for about a week and a half now and still hasn't really got it. Up in the mountain, 42 forecast for Sunday. Yeah, it's supposed to be raining here too. We need rain. It's pretty dry and all that, but I sure would like to get into my hives and get everybody checked on. Where you at, Michael? From New what? Hey, Mark. New Hampshire. Okay, cool. So, Mark, are you out there in the bee yard fooling with queens or not. That was pretty cool last week doing that live video. And we might have some live video from um, Canada tonight. Might be, I think, showing some. James is going to show his new wax. Uh,
No delay there, man. Bam, bam, right in.
yeah. Always good to have somebody to talk to. His new wax dipping machine. Mark says it's cold and wet. Well, that's supposed to be, that's supposed to be coming here tomorrow evening, and gusty winds of 30 miles an hour. So I'm going to have to batten down the hatches when it comes to our buildings and stuff around here. Hopefully I can get it.
I was just talking to Matt from, Matt and Sarah.
Yeah.
And he said it's snowing so hard he can't even see his pigs out in the pen behind him right now.
He's in what, Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah.
That's the biggest freezer. But I have a friend of mine, Mary Lou, she lives out there. And it's like, 50 below zero, forget it. I mean, why would anybody want to even move there?
The
State College says just Pennsylvania. What is your first name? Let us know. Instead of me saying Pennsylvania.
I had thought I would, I saw the bees on water today, so I'm like, you know what? Maybe I make some very thin.
Damn. All right, Darren.
Feed, right?
Yeah.
So I put out some very thin open feed. You know how many bees touched it? Not one.
So there's a nectar source someplace.
Yep. I'm glad I put some apple cider vinegar in the water to raise the pH a little bit, or make it more acidic, which I guess is actually lowering it a bit. But they weren't touching it at all today, so that's good. My chickens. So I did an experiment. I had a broody hen. And when I got my first chickens, I got them all at the same time, right? So they were all the same size. They all grew up at the same time. Well, I had a broody hen, and she was sitting on a bunch of eggs, and I needed to get those eggs out of there because they were never going to hatch because I don't have a rooster, right? So I shoot her out. I took all the eggs out and chucked them out in the woods, and then dumped in 10 chicks. Like, she went out, she came back, all of her eggs hatched type of deal. It's like boom, bam. And they didn't hurt any of the chicks, but she adopted basically 3 of them. So there's 3 that's with her all the time. She sits on them. They're like under her and following her around. But the other 7, they're just doing their thing inside the chicken coop. So it's kind of weird.
Hey, Lisa. Good to see you tonight. How's the grafting come on? Have you did some more grafting? I don't know.
I've been contemplating doing some more grafting.
I'm going to, but then I haven't heard the extended forecast. They tell me it's going to be cold next week. So I might as well not even think about it.
So
I got more people calling me up for nukes.
I was talking to Amir, and Amir said, Bob, you've got that colony that you were grafting from. He basically said, bring all the brood to the top. Like we were talking last night, shake the bees down, put the brood in the top box, put the queen excluder, let the bees come up, put a double screen board in there, boom, instant queen room box, right?
Queen room box. Yeah, it was like, like last night Brad was talking about, let the other folks here know, like, we've all know that we can shake all the bees off the brood frames or whatever we want to make a split with, and then put a queen excluder in. And of course, all the nurse bees will come up top, cover all those brood frames. And all we have to do is walk away with that box.
Put it anywhere.
Well, but the queen is in the bottom, and that's how we do that. But then also Brad mentioned that because they're nurse bees up in that box, I always figured, yeah, it is nurse bees, but you don't put the two and two together. That now
Right.
you can pick that box up and you can put it anywhere in your apiary and they won't fly back to home base because they are nurse bees.
Some might, but most of them
Some,
are going to stay up there, right?
most of them are going to stay. So, and then like you were just saying with Amir, now you're saying I got a double screen board for some nukes, and that's where I normally graft in, put my grafts in. So now I got that idea where I guess, like you say, put all that brood upstairs, and then
Let the nurse bees come up and populate it, then just lift it up. I could just lift it up, put a double screen board down, do my grafts, and then when I'm done, I can pull those grafts out. I can lift that box, take the double screen board down, do a paper combine back, right? And put them right back
I don't
together.
think you would even have to do that. They're come from the same hive. That's almost the same principle as a cloak board.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's essentially what it is. Only a cloak board has entrances at
Sliders.
different points, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I tried the cloak board. I don't know. It was just my main thing. Now, what did you do? I knew that you shook nurse bees onto a ramp, to get them to go up into your cell builder.
Yeah, so I just went. So I had my cell builder. It was a little bit light, right? So I just went to several. I took a pro nuke, went to several colonies, shook off brood frames into a pro nuke, right? Well, obviously, make sure you don't get the queen when you're doing that, but all of the leave the top off, right? All the foragers are going to fly back to wherever. The flying bees are going to fly. And what you're going to end up with is a bunch of nurse bees in that pro nuke that are stuck. And then I just took them to my starter finisher and dumped them in front of it and let them walk up the board right into the hive.
I still like the idea of maybe going and it's like I was doing these demo reads. I got to thinking about it. All right, the nurse bees are going to come upstairs, cover up the brood that I put up there. And now all I got to do is I can either harvest those brood frames and put them in my cell builder nuke along with the bees, or like you say, I can take the pro nuke or something. I think I'm going to have to buy myself a pro nuke just because it's smooth sides and stuff, and there's no cardboard
and it's light.
Or light.
And it's light to carry around, for us old guys.
Anyway, I could shake those bees off and dump them in another, one of these cell builder nukes of mine, because I actually grafted about a week or so ago, and when I went to take the graft there, I'm like, where's all the bees at? I had put 2 chock full hives together and papered them, and it looks like to me they packed up and left. Hey,
Danette.
What's it? Danette?
I might be saying it wrong. It could be Danette, or it could be Danette, or
Daydant.
Daydant. If she's Daydant, send me some free stuff.
All right, we got a live. Here comes the live for tonight.
How y'all doing?
Hey.
And on this week's Mark Miller's updates with the bees.
It's cold and it's wet.
Checking grass?
Checking grass, yeah. Mark?
We're right back in the same builder as last week.
Right.
And it's probably not going to be as good because I got one of them new Pierce grafting tools in.
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
Well, I went back.
I'll tell you what, wait and come in on the chat after we get this done and talk about that.
Well, it ain't as easy to me.
It's what you got the
now, Mark, let me ask you a question. You got a shim air. Why is that? Because of the amount of bees?
Because I got them pollen patties on here.
Okay.
That's all it is.
You got Apis Biologics in them pollen patties?
Yes, sir. I just put them on yesterday. They ain't even started on them.
Well, you probably have enough foragers out there bringing in pollen right now, right?
Should be.
Looks pretty good so far to me. I can see those white tips.
Well, I don't know yet.
Oh, look at that. Beauty.
Don't-
Look at the
Look at
second and
that.
third row.
Look at that. Gorgeous.
Only been in here a couple of days.
Yeah, but look at them tips.
There's
All
one
right, you
miss.
got one miss,
Two.
two misses. Look at them ones down there. Goodness gracious.
See,
Do they?
they're better. They're better at the bottom always on a
Really?
double. Yeah. Every one
Bees
of them
don't
is good.
Bees don't have as far to travel to get to them, right?
Well, it's warmer, I guess,
It's
really.
warmer, yeah. One miss on the bottom.
All right,
Two
so you got
misses.
3 misses, 4
There's
misses.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Now it's 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. About 40 there.
Out of what?
There's-
What are they?
I think it was
15
about
bar?
I think it was 50 altogether.
That's still good, man. That's still
That's my question is like, have you got 50 mating nukes out there all ready to rock and roll?
I've been busy. A lot of these here are for misses, you know, if they don't get back. I'll have extras. Some of them are going out in the mail.
those look good.
Anyway,
Looking good to me. Now, if you're doing let's say a 5-frame nuke, or just let's say one deep box, are you going to put your cell bar up on the top? I've been always doing the top and middle. Now, should I be doing bottom and middle?
if you're doing a double, do it on the bottom. If you do a single, do it on top.
Okay.
I got a single down here. I just did yesterday.
So how many cells do you have running at one time right now?
I got froze up. Darn it.
He'll probably pop back in a second. Minimize him while he's froze. Bring us back up. There we go.
I ain't gonna be able to do it. The further I get away from the signal, I lose you.
But
How many cell builders you run, Mark, at a time?
Right now, I've got 3.
3 and each of them have 40 in it?
Now 30 in the other 2. This one here was the last round, so I loaded it up.
So how many rounds are you running per cell builder before you make it back into a colony and let it go?
3. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Whatever you can do in 3 weeks, you can do 6. But
What do you got? Some crimson clover there behind you?
Yeah, I got it there and then there.
Do your bees work it?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, they love it.
I don't see them on mine yet. I see them on that damn tree, though, that I got. Them trees, they're working those good.
My tulip poplar just opened up yesterday. Now it's going to turn off cold.
It's supposed to rain here tomorrow.
Yeah, Brian wants to know how many mating nukes you run, Mark, and what mating nuke. What's the mating nuke setup? Is it a 2-framer or like a mini jobs or?
Well, I've got 30 of the 3-ways, so that's 90. And then I'll have about 35 nukes total.
Yeah, Russell wants to know whether Gus Mitchell quit making videos. I don't know. He's probably super busy right now, working bees.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube don't pay the bills like the bees do.
Yeah. Most likely, that's what I would say. I mean, we're all starting to get that way.
Hey, so let me tell you about this. You know, we did the giveaway. We did the fundraiser for Tim and Hannah, right?
Right.
So YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, split it up. They paid part of it this month, and now part of it ain't going to go till next month. But all of it, I paid. Right? I paid for everything up front, so I only get half the money this month back for it, and half the money next month back for it. So
you did good.
Welcome to the world of YouTube. They just decide whatever they're going to do. All that money came the same night, right? All that money was paid the same night, the same show, but YouTube split it up. I don't know. No idea. It's crazy. So I might have some more nukes coming this week. Not sure yet.
Right.
I'll probably know right before it happens. Hey, you still want these? I need to get rid of these. Do you want these? You know, that type of deal. But I think I'm going to be a little more sneaky with it this time, though, Charlie. These I might just keep and fill up all my nuke boxes that I've got, my 5-frame nukes, right? And just use them as resource colonies. Let them continue to lay. Take that brood, 1 frame of brood every few weeks, and drop it over in one of my strong colonies to help boost them up. And then just let the nukes build up a frame of comb or whatever at a time.
Well, just keep stacking. Keep stacking. Like you said, they pull comb out for you, and that's what you're looking for. And all that.
I was so surprised by that licensed 6-frame nuke when it was a cell builder. It probably built 10 frames of comb for me. And
there's Sourwood down there. That's your friend there.
I can bring them when I come back up. All right, you have to call me on that because I got to figure that one out. I don't know. Back up. You're going to Georgia. So Georgia, you got to pass me to go to Georgia to Atlanta, then turn around and come back to me. Maybe that's what you mean on the way home. But let me know. Oh, no, we're good, Tim. I was just saying that I don't know why YouTube decided they was just going to split it up like that, but whatever. It's all good. Just keep buying swarm lure, y'all. It'll be fine. Swarm lure, you know, the marking pins, the swarm lure starting to kind of taper off, but now the marking pins on Amazon are starting to sell good. So, I mean, whatever. And hopefully I got part of my stuff.
He's going to Florida and back up.
Oh, going to Florida, then back up. Okay, I got you. And then I got some of the stuff for the honey remover. So hopefully have that done. I got to order labels this weekend, Lord willing, so I can label that bottle.
Hey, Mike.
So what do you think about that? The concentrate idea is a better idea? I think it is.
What is that now?
The concentrate on the honey remover, I think it's a better idea. Because most beekeepers have a spray bottle, empty spray bottle, right?
Yeah, but that stuff stinks, though.
Not this one, don't.
It don't?
No, it's not going to smell like what's the one that smells like the vomit?
Oh, that's that butyrus or whatever it's called.
With the butyric acid in it or whatever.
Man, that's some mean, wicked stuff.
Yeah, it don't smell like that. No, it's smells like almonds.
Well, it may be the way to go if it don't stink, Bob.
But the concentrate, because it's in a small bottle, it's easier to ship, right? You're not paying to ship the water. Right. And then you can actually make 64 ounces of it with the concentrate. So 2 spray bottles full out of 1 bottle. So that's the goal, is keep the shipping low, keep the packaging prices down, and allow people to make their own, right? So use half a bottle in 1 squirt bottle, fill it up with water, good to go on your own. So that'll be it. See, Darren says the almond scented one works well for him. So that's what this is going to be. And I only bought 50 of these bottles because I don't know how these bottles will work yet. So you guys will be the crash test dummies, the ones that order it. So I had to get a squeeze bottle to do it.
Yeah. What was, I was going to ask you something, Mark, but I can't think what it was now.
I got the others last week's sales. I got them in here in the oven. It's supposed to turn off cold, so I figured I'd just wait. Oh yeah, look here.
Now you're what's that?
Got my sticker. Past
Inspections or something?
Yeah.
Tennessee inspection.
State guy, yeah.
I don't have any of that. But I mean, do you find people buying people don't mind buying the Virgin Queens?
Hey, Blaine.
Can you see it? I got it set up. You find it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
The more experienced people do, Bob. It's
man.
It's kind of a level thing, you know. The inexperienced ones don't know how to put a virgin in. You know, it's kind of like the more experienced ones are doing it.
Well, I did a virgin here last year, did a video about it, and I just walked her in. Just let her walk in. Yeah,
I mean, I did that with all of them. Well, there was a couple I put cells
I mean, as long as they were like 24 hours queenless or so. I mean, these new or the 2-framer mating boxes that I had were definitely queenless,
but
you know.
My acceptance return rate out of those queens, I think I had about 3 that didn't make it back for whatever reason, just disappeared, and I couldn't find them afterwards. But all the other ones came back. And how do I know? Because I put the red dot on them before I put them in there, right? So I knew if they got a red dot on them, they were my queens. So,
see you, Todd. He's going to catch a swarm.
Yeah, put it on video, or it didn't happen. We don't want no 2005 video.
All right, Todd. Let's do a live here and shoot it back to us so we can all watch it. I know what Russell reminded me was I think it was Russell. Well, anyway, whoever the grafting tool. What was your likes, dislikes, pros, cons, whatever?
Before he says anything, I'm gonna tell him what the problem is right now. He's
$60.
so used to using the Chinese grafting tool
that's it, Bob.
Used to the new one. So
that's it. Exactly.
It's that muscle memory that he doesn't have yet on it.
Well, you seen the old top bar, and of course, they're not as good at building on the top bar, but I did the top bar with this, and I don't know, now the tongues done fell out of it. But anyway, that tongue is just too stiff. I don't know if you got to hone it down or what. It's too stiff for me. I can't get under the larva.
It's metal, right?
Yeah, and it just sticks straight. And you got to get under it and do like that. I'm not.
Too stiff said no man ever.
I don't know. After about 4 hours, it's enough.
Call the doctor.
Now, Blaine, that's exactly.
Oh, man. Good thing you're not monetized, Charlie, because you would have just lost it right there for a minute.
Why is that? They take it away?
No, yeah, well, they could, give you a strike or whatever. We're talking about Viagra and too stiff, and Never mind. You missed it. You missed the whole conversation, Charlie.
I don't know. I'm gonna practice with it some more. I know the pros use it, but I'm so used to that Chinese grafting tool, I can just go in and out, put it in the cup, in and out, put it in the cup. And this one here, I'm having to. I don't know. I'm like practice.
I like the Chinese graft. Now, Paul, I was on last night, and I was on Tuesday night, but I wasn't on Wednesday or Monday, I think.
You came on Tuesday night. I did one last night, and you were on last night.
Yeah, that was Thursday night and Friday night. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah.
It's the one thing the Chinese actually make well, the grafting tool.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like their Chinese graft. Of course, like you say, that's what I've been used to. People say something about it can't see. I don't have a problem with that. I go right in. I got, the flashlight in my left hand, Chinese on my right hand. I just make that thing glisten with the light and go right in there and scoop it up. And there it is.
Brad, that one is too stiff to go in and out, is what you're trying to say.
That's it.
God.
Yeah, well, whatever.
The tongue is too hard.
The tongue is too hard.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, this is going.
I never heard of that complaint.
Never heard that complaint before. That and General Tso's chicken. That's true. General Tso's chicken is pretty good. Oh my gosh, you guys are.
But now I don't know. I looked at that tool that you're talking about there, and it's got that piece of steel, and I'm like, well, how do you? And then the thing of it is, you got to hold that trigger down right for it to come out, and then you release the trigger in order to get it off.
Right. So
yeah, you come up and release.
So you stick it, you push it down, and then once you're in the cell, then you push it. I don't know if you can even see it.
I can barely see it. Yeah.
Hold on. No.
I don't know. I just take that Chinese grafting tool with the tongue, and I tell people, I see it coming out.
And then it's out, and you got to take it with your thumb still pushed down into your cup, and then let it out. And I think that I haven't tried it yet, obviously, but I think I would probably, once you get it in there, then you got to smash it flat when you let it go, right? Just smash it down flat and then let it go.
Does it bend?
Yeah, it's a little bendy, not a lot, but I don't know. For $50, this thing better do good.
Well, people do thousands and thousands with it, so there's got to be a trick to it.
I don't know. I know that when Kent Williams taught me how to graft down there back in 19, I guess it was 18 or 19 in Knoxville. And he was staying, he said, oh, I'm going to buy that tool right there. It's more expensive. It's got to be better. So he can do better grafting. And he did worse. And he said, I got 100 Chinese grafting tools, and that's what he uses.
I went to his thing yesterday.
What, out there in his, where he lives?
Yeah, at his house. Had a big turnout. Had to stay long. He was doing the grafting.
I think the biggest issue I would have right now grafting again is the same issue that I had when I grafted the first time. Is I could graft a bunch of cells, but then I don't have the nukes. I have the nukes. I don't have the resources to go in the nukes to take care of the queens, or you know what I'm saying? To keep them going. So if I grafted 30 and I went out there, I wouldn't have 30 frames of bees that I could go out here and pull off all my colonies to drop in there without setting them back. But now I see the benefit of those little nukes, right? Where you can just shake cup of bees in there and you're good to go, because they don't have to do much. There's not much in there for them to do.
Yeah, I could get into that later on in the season, but this time of the year it's too chilly, too many nights it's too cold.
Now, when do you think the queen ramp down point would be? I mean, when is it too late to be grafting queens?
I usually stop about the summer Celsius.
Okay, so around June, end of June.
Now, I won't do as many from here on. I'll do a few more, but get caught up.
And,
Yeah, around here, May, June, and July. Once you get about the end of July, forget it, or in the middle of July.
Well, if you watch,
but now they have started.
You can do it all the way to September around here.
Yeah. Well, now there has been a few people starting to graft here the last couple of weeks. It's finally gotten decent weather. But
then it's the mating part of it, right? That's the problem. That here I could sell a ton of virgins. I could just make cells, hatch them. I could go buy cells and hatch them in my incubator and sell the virgins relatively cheap if I wanted to do that.
Double your money.
Yeah, but the thing is that everybody that asked me, did I have a queen? I said, well, I got virgins. Oh, no, I want a mated queen. Well,
of course.
Of course. But the problem is, by the time
takes a month.
Right. A month to come, a month. And then if they come back, right?
Yeah.
So that's the hive placement contract. I don't have any myself. Oh my gosh.
We're in trouble now.
We got Tony the Tiger with his tiger stripes on today.
we can see you.
He got that serious look.
He froze on us.
Yeah. Yeah, froze, Paul. Brian from Flower
I'm in the
Street.
backyard, so maybe it's not showing.
Yeah, we can see you.
But you're just freezing up a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's 80 for you, right? Well, we got a lot of rain today. Puddles in the backyard. But I was going to show you a little bit about what the bees are doing back here. What's going on in my yard? If it'll stay going. Let's see if I can get this.
Now you just got far enough from the house that it switched from Wi-Fi to cell tower.
That's what I did. You only get so far.
You're froze, Paul.
Yeah, he froze, yeah. He might have to switch it over to his cell and.
Yeah. But now I want to shout out to Flower Street Honey, Brian.
I love that guy, man.
About insurance, as far as selling honey, and we're looking for some type of insurance policy for our bee club. I didn't know whether he had a specific insurance policy through a bee related insurance company or not.
Well, we asked that. I asked that question. Excuse me. I asked that question. I think it was to Brad. And about the insurance, he said, "Yep, they have them in Canada. However, you would have to have a serious loss before making a claim on it would be worth."
Now, this is for liability.
Oh, liability insurance. Well, that's any insurance, right? Liability insurance.
Yeah, I mean, these insurance companies, they're, some of them know what they're talking about, when it comes to if that's their specialty, I guess you would call it.
Texas Insurance and Financial Services.
Yeah. So
Put in some drone cones. I've got drones. I've got drones around here, but it's the other things that, because I made so many splits. There you go, Paul.
All right, you're better now.
Okay. I was going to see if it was going to let me back in a little bit here.
Well, you don't look any better, but the connection.
I don't look any better. Okay. I can take that, Bob. I give you enough hassle on your own stream, so I can take it back. I'm good at a little give and take. I'm out here on my cell phone, so I don't know how to necessarily turn this around. But what I was going to do is show you that the bee hacienda's got 3 inhabitants of those 6 places, and looking, one of those has egg laying queen. The other 2 were trying to make a few queens. The little nuke over there next to it has been doing very well. Over there on that stand, on that shelves, is the swarm that I caught, and we're seeing how that goes. It started putting a comb in the void spaces, so I had to add a few more frames. I have, this is a split from last year that's going to be doing pretty good, and the rest of the apiary here has already got, as you can see, it's already got some honey supers on top, except for the middle one. That was beta last year that I lost, but it has a new split inside of it as well. So we've got 1, 2, going on 3, 4, a good 5. That nuke is maybe going to be 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 splits that are going to be here. So I guess I'm at about 10 right now.
That's awesome. Now I got a question.
Yep.
Your hive stands on, they look like a stack of cinder blocks. I don't know what they are.
They are three on top of 3 on top of, there are 3 cinder blocks on top of 3 the other direction cinder blocks, and then the 4-inch flat solid. Here,
like a paver.
So you got 3 cinder blocks that's stacked in that direction, the other direction, and then the flat paver kind of cinder blocks on top. They're still 4 by 8 by 16 blocks.
But do you find yourself,
and it makes a very solid stand for about $12.
Now, I guess the biggest question I have with those is they seem kind of tall from the camera. When you start stacking all those tallow supers on there, aren't you like breaking your back?
Yeah, if you saw my video from last year when I harvested honey, I mean, yeah, I run all deeps. So you get 3 deeps on top of, excuse me, Charlie, sorry, Charlie, but a double deep brood chamber, not single hive management, but a double deep.
He's using 2 brood boxes, but it's a single brood chamber.
But then you put if you look at some of my other videos from last year, I actually had 3 going on 4 double deep honey supers on top of that. The 4th one didn't do very well, but they filled 3 of them, and that was quite a bit of honey out of those supers going on top of there. But yes, it gets tall enough to where I've got to use a step ladder to take those off, and I'm getting a little old to haul 70 pounds off the top of that step ladder. Yes.
Well, you know, Charlie, I didn't make this comment until I saw, and I could be wrong, but I saw Brian at Flower Street did a short about his queens, and I saw in his garage, it looked like he had a Hive Lifter in there. One of those Hive Lifter tools. I don't know, but it kind of looked like a Hive Lifter in the back. And I'm sure he's in the comments. He might.
You talking about Brian?
Brian at Flowers?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
I've been looking at them. The Hive Lifter was about $1,400, I think. And the Apis lifter, but by the time you pay shipping into the United States, I think it's coming from New Zealand or somewhere down there. It gets a little prohibitive. So maybe I'll pick one up at Hive Life 2024 if those vendors decide to visit or whatever Tennessee next year, I could save some shipping costs.
Yeah, what's the Apis one? I don't. Where's that from?
There's an Apis lifter. I want to say I want to say New Zealand. Don't quote me on that, but I've looked at a couple of them. The other one is from I think a Canadian guy who's from that has the Hive Lifter.
Yeah, that's the one that Mike Berry has. That's the one I've been looking at.
Yep.
Is it a Hive Lifter, Brian, that you have? It looks like it. Just looking at your video, I saw it sitting in the back by your garage door, and it looked like a
where's this video?
hand truck with a motor on it. So I was like, "That's a Hive Lifter," and but I've never heard you say anything about it. So I don't know. I might be just seeing what I want to see there. He says, "What do I have?" I wish.
Is that Queen Bank frame short?
Not sure what we saw. Let me see. Well, I still got the video up Brad sent me from Michael.
Well, I see a portable hand truck there.
But doesn't it look like it has a motor on the bottom of it?
Yeah, I reckon I'm going to go in the house. Back here in the back of the yard doesn't pick up too well.
Now we got 2 poles. There we go.
It's like double mint gum, man. Twice the fun.
It looked like it to me. It had a. Let me see.
I'm looking at it here.
We'll bring it up.
It looks to me like I don't know. How do you bring it up? Share it?
Yeah.
You click the share button?
Yep. And then add the stream or. Charlie, I'm going to have it up.
All right, good. Because I ain't figured it out.
All right, so hold on. It's a short, so I can present it. Share screen. Queen. It's on his Queen Bank film.
Yeah, that's it.
Queen banking frame.
Right in the back. Right here.
Nah,
What it is.
That's one of them dollies that can lay flat or go or up straight up.
Oh, yeah. I was sitting there. I was like, is that a Hive Lifter? Did Brian buy a Hive Lifter and he's holding out on us?
What to do with.
Oh, it's just a dolly. I was like, I was sitting there, seeing what I wanted to see, right? But that's how he's banking his queens. He's got a Queen Bank frame.
I got to head out to some other place
to put it down in the colony so the bees can take care of it.
So
that's what he says. It's just a dolly.
Frame.
I got one like that where you can flip it around and raise the handle up and lay it flat and carry a bunch of stuff.
I do like that frame. That's handy.
Some extras. I got to figure out what to do with. All right,
what's that? One
that
with the
Queen
Hive?
Bank frame.
Yeah.
And if you've never bought queens from Jose out there, they don't come in the full wooden cages. They come in like a mini wooden cage, and then it's in one of those square boxes, right, from the Postal Service. Yeah. And he's got a sponge in there, and the nurse bees are just in the box with the queen.
It's a battery box, right?
No, it's the square shipping box with the screen on it.
Right, and they put the queens in the individual cages, then they pour a pound of bees in there.
Yep, and just close it up.
About the size of a cigar box, ain't it?
Yeah, it's just a little cube. The one I got. I mean, I got 25 queens from him last year.
Yeah.
But they were late season queens. And yeah, Bob was his own worst enemy again last year.
So anyway,
well, I think I'm going to try to graft a few this weekend, Bob, and see if I can't give you a run for your money on how many stick here.
It won't be hard to match up with what I did. Well, you could just put a frame of eggs in there and pull it out and be like, yeah, hey, I got 13 queens. There I go. You know,
Well, I only need about 4, but I think I'm going to try to run a dozen and see what happens and pick the best ones that come out. I've got one hive there at the end.
so what
She's
you
a
need to do
she's
is
a
you
nasty
need to-
one, man, and I need to change that queen out because I get ate up every time I open the lid on that one. So it's
How many
time
do you
to
need?
probably 4 or 5.
All right,
But
so
I
if you
want to
need
also
5, graft 12, 10 of them
Yeah.
will take, 8 of them will come back mated, and then you can pick which ones you want and replace them.
that's Beaconomics math, right?
Yeah, you just have more than you need, and then if somebody's
Yeah, I
like,
just
"Hey,
want to
need
give it a
20,"
try. I want the experience too of doing this to see if I can do it. Plus, I drove over and had breakfast with Lee a couple months ago, or I guess 6 or 8 weeks ago, and picked up a queen frame that's got little cups and frames and everything from your all's from his 500 subs giveaway. So I've got a new piece of equipment to try out as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff. There's James. He made it
Yeah.
off early enough to swing by his bee yard.
I don't know. We've been looking
Y'all
at.
kept him up pretty late last night, though.
For us, it was late. He's 2 hours behind us, 3 hours behind us. So it's still
Yeah.
good time for him. Still daylight out when we knocked
Oh
off.
yeah, big time.
But see, what you guys don't understand is we're in the VIP room after for sometimes an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, however long. And it's Friday night.
That's
so
when
we
you
don't
talk
have-
about what you don't want to clue the rest of us in. Is that what it is?
Well, that's when sometimes it's aggravating because sometimes you're tired, you're ready to go to bed, and then people like pop in right before the end of the stream and then want to talk afterwards. They don't really want to be on the stream, but they want to talk afterwards. And it's like, I get it,
Guilty as charged.
but sometimes you don't feel like it. But usually when James and those guys get on it gets pretty deep. We should actually be recording that. That would make great. That conversation afterwards is like the in-depth stuff, right? Where you're specifically talking about specific things and it's not real. It's still kind of random, which is good. But if we're talking about
James went to a queen breeder that has, what was it, 15,000 hives.
15,000 colonies, yeah.
Yeah. Well, who's the guy from Apis you had on Tuesday night? Andrew,
yeah, he's the owner.
Yeah. That was good, except Charlie wouldn't let him talk the whole night. I mean, Charlie was jumping in on top of him, though.
I think I need to sell this. Somebody needs to buy this thing. This is the most expensive bag of Apis Biologics that I have.
I started to comment and say, "Is this Charlie's channel tonight?" I thought it was Bob's channel tonight. But I said, well, maybe I better not. I better not upset Charlie. He's going to be on Friday night, so I better be good.
I'll tell you what, these streams are great, but like when I start a stream, when it's just random stream, like Charlie, when you started tonight and you're by yourself, you're literally just reading the chat and talking to the chat box. That gets really old really quick.
I don't see how what do you got?
Who's that?
Thing?
That's Peacock.
Sounds like a peacock out there.
I thought you had a cat.
So what I was going to tell you, yeah, you're reading the chat and all that, but I don't see how Cayman does it, and he flows with it. It seems like.
Well, Cayman's just answering questions. You know, I got on the other Thursday night a week ago from that, and I just said, "Hey, Bob's not on tonight," and I got on. Frank joined me a little bit, and we just had a little chat or whatever. I like, and Frank's like going, "Yeah, it looks really good if you have a topic to talk about. You know, you can sit there and talk for 10 or 15 minutes, but after a while, it gets to be like dead air." That's why I always joke with Bob about he can't stand dead air out there, man. He's got to jump on and have a chat. But when he wasn't on a couple Thursday nights ago, I said, "Hey, where's Bob?" I said, "I'll get on and see if everybody else would come on." But it was a little experience. I'm not looking to get into that on a full-time basis for sure.
Y'all give me a bunch of sand. Now you know.
Yeah. Well, Lee always says you're the mouth, he's the tech, right?
hey, and he's all right with that, and I'm all right with it. You know, what was it the Rock used to say on WWE? Know your role, jabroni. I know my role. You know, so that's the and the other one was you gotta be this tall to ride this ride. So, you know, I'm giving away my redneckness there. So
It's all good. And I think you can definitely tell we're all a bunch of no-lifers because, I mean, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
the snow is melting, Ian says.
Hey, yeah.
See, I don't have like privileges in Charlie's chat like Lee does. Lee can admin and do everything. I can't click and bring up anything and do all that. So
Well, I
good
can't see the
practice.
chat on my phone. I may have to go get on my computer just so I can see the chat on the sidelines.
Brian says Bob's the goat of live streams. I look like a goat when I had my beard.
Yeah, he's bad.
I'm bad at it. Good evening and good new Ian. Let's see. But yeah, I'm glad his snow's melting up there. But in Minnesota, Matt says they're getting pummeled with snow right now.
Yeah, he was on last night saying they had a bunch. Yeah.
It was,
I think in Minnesota, right below Manitoba.
just above Iowa. And I don't know which province is right above Minnesota.
I think that
See, dead air.
It's either between Ontario to Manitoba, right on the edge. You know, us Americans don't know our geography, right?
Well, no, it was where Brad said where the Minnesota line is, and some
Ontario.
other state it goes straight up to where he lives.
Well, you know, back in the day, I don't know if they still do it in school, but you remember when we were in school, we used to have to memorize the states and the capitals and like the Gettysburg Address, and I used to hate that.
And how much have you needed that in your last 40 years, Bob?
Well, you know, apparently if we were paying attention, we would know what was right above Minnesota. So I would have needed it at least one time, right?
That's right. There you go.
At least once. The same as algebra, right?
How's that calculus doing for you, right?
Yeah, well, it worked. I used it a lot in pharmaceuticals. I don't use it too much anymore. So,
well, I have never needed to know the area underneath a parabola all my life. Okay.
Oh my gosh! But you remember grafting when you had to graft the sets? When they'd give you an equation, then you have to find out where the points fell on the X and Y coordinates.
Yep. X squared plus Y squared equals what? Yep. Okay.
So
I didn't pay attention then.
that's the Ian is 300 miles north of Russell. Yeah, they don't know their ABCs now, and they can't sign. Have you ever seen a young kid sign their name now? It's in block letters. It's just
they don't teach cursive anymore.
Second
or
round.
math or common sense for that matter.
Well, you know, you think they would do stuff like at least teach important stuff that you have to do. You have to file your taxes. Teach somebody how to at least do the easy form. You know what I mean? And
I guess now the important stuff is what pronoun am I supposed to identify with? That's the important stuff.
Oh, don't go there.
But we won't go there tonight, right?
You're going to get banned. No monetization for you, Charlie.
Now, Ian's just saying he just got done feeding a second round of patty. Yeah, I was watching the video there where you were kind of putting a couple, going through the hives there in the snow. Some of them are empty with no patties, and some of them are doing okay.
I've still got Brian's short going over here. It's probably got another 1,000 views with just right now with me letting it run in the background.
But I'm glad that Ian's able to get them on and all that.
So tomorrow I'm going to look and see if I can't fill that bee hacienda up, split a few more. And I've got 3 in there and 3 vacancies. And I'm going to put that no vacancy sign on, Bob. It says, when there's no more room left.
Is that 5 frame? Those are 5 frames, 6 5 framers in there?
It's 6 by 5. Yep.
So your splits, how are you making them in there?
Typically a frame or 2 of brood, a frame of food, a frame of comb if I got it, and a frame of empty if I got, and then just let them go from there. If I don't have the frame of comb, then I'll put 2 frames of foundation in.
Now you're running nukes in that new box, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to raise some queens, and like I said, I'm going to try to graft some and then throw them into there. And I've got a couple of the big ones that you saw that need requeening. I still got some, white dot queens, as we were talking about last night. I saw some of the comments last night. I've got them too. I've got white dot queens that are still laying slabs of brood. So I have a hard time getting them out, but they're about running a little shy, I think, by the time we get to the end of this year.
Well, maybe if you put them white dot queens over into that nuke, that when they start fizzling out, they'll supersede her, right? And make their own queen, and then just a daughter off of a daughter.
I pulled a frame with a supersedure cell out of one of my other frames to stick into that one.
Hey, we got a live here, Brad.
What's up, guys?
Hey, live swarm catch.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, I can't turn this camera around, so I'm just gonna, or I can turn the, since it's an iPhone, I can't turn, I'll have to turn the phone around. Here is what he caught already. I don't know if you could see that. I'm not going to open the box. I'm not going to open the box because they're really pissy.
Why not?
Double D?
Because I don't have my gloves.
You got a suit on.
No, I just
got a veil.
I got popped enough last week. I'm still healing from that. I have stuff stuck in my fingers.
That makes that it helps out the rheumatoid.
Yeah, well, I definitely don't have that anymore. So here's part of it. It settled in his orange tree. And I don't know if you could see the bees against the white.
Yeah, they're flying. We can see them.
This is nothing what they were 10 minutes ago. Ow, I just got stung. Son of a beehive. But anyway, so it doesn't look super big, but it's easy. It's over 3 pounds. I'd say it's more like 4. And one thing I just noticed, if I don't get stung again, you see that?
It's a blossom.
It's fine. The oranges are finally, they're finally blooming here. They're 3-4 weeks late. They should be done by now. This has been really weird weather. So there's bees everywhere.
So what's your plan of action?
Well, I can't do it right now because there's still a lot in the air. I'm going to just let them settle down for a while and then hit them. I'll just get a ladder, pop a box, put a box, somewhere right in here, and then just give them a shake and go from there. But I guess the thing, when he got the original swarm, it was, oh gosh, it was a good 2.5 feet round and about 4 feet long.
Lee says, get your iron skillet out and start beating, and then it'll settle down.
Oh yeah, huh? I forgot about that. They're everywhere. They're at the front.
Make some noise.
Hang them.
They're everywhere right now. It's unreal. There's so many bees in the air, and there's tons of scouts too. They're going in all different directions. But anyway, that's the latest and greatest here. I'll probably cut out for a little bit and try that pan thing to settle them down, and then maybe I'll get back on camera and see if I could get them in a box.
All right.
So, sorry, I'm just checking in right now. Sorry, it's not really exciting.
So where are you, out in California? That's awful light out there still.
Oh yeah, out in California, Central California.
We got dark.
Yeah, it's, and what is it, 6 o'clock I think, or 9 o'clock over there, so it's 6 here. Anyway, so I'm going to sign off right now. But if I get them going into a box, I'll show that process and get back
Okay.
on here.
Cool.
Sounds good, Todd.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.
See,
Well, you
we're gonna
see
have
Bruce's latest video where he was trying to catch a swarm out of that tree, and he knocked him down and missed the box that he was trying to put him in.
Yeah. I would have held the darn box up there or something. But
That's what I was thinking when I looked at it. But he was looking down at the ground, looking like, "Whoops, I should have done that
Yeah.
differently." I'm like, going, "Yeah, I think so."
Did they actually
We all
walk
make
in the
mistakes.
box? I didn't see that
Yeah.
video. Did he walk in the
Hey,
box?
yeah, Ian, if you're listening, James wants to know how they're taking global patties down, how fast they're taking them down. I think for what I saw in the video, some of the big highs have just sucked them down completely. You know,
Well, you seen mine, they quit totally on the patty.
yeah, I think, you know, around here, once you get the natural pollen coming in, they put their nose up against that stuff.
Yeah.
But now the only thing is with global, it does have 15% real pollen in it. And we got the apis in there. I don't know whether they are attracted to it because of that either. And all. But it's like with Bob's Tuesday night show. It's like my comment was the apis to me makes the sugarwater turn into, I'll say, a 95% nectar, or at least it acts like it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I put apis in my open feeder today. They didn't give a damn about that feeder. So it was more of a trial because I saw them on the water. So I was like, well, maybe if they're needing water, let's check this flow and see how it's going. And I spent a bunch of money on that feed that's going to go to waste, but it's they not one bee went to it at all. So sometimes I'll pour it out there today and they'll get on it tomorrow type of thing, but
So what does that tell you? It's time to super up and go.
Yeah, the thing is, the nukes that I made up and I moved them to 10 frame boxes, I haven't put any super on them because I'm trying to get them to pack that bottom box out before I throw the super on it to get them to try to, move up that way. But
Well, if they're not taking your feed, then there's a nectar flow on, and you need to provide them room to make honey frames, not pack it in the bottom box.
yeah, the thing is that either way, right? So with the flow, if they're taking the real nectar, I need them still I got to do the 80%, right? I got to get them to pack that box, the bottom box full. And then I'll start throwing on. Some of mine already have supers on them, the stronger ones that I didn't split, but the ones that I split are still single boxes trying to hatch out brood. Because like I said yesterday on the stream, the old grafting spreadsheet, right? So this I grafted a month ago yesterday. So that means she might have a 3 weeks, close to 3 weeks before her brood starts hatching out of that one, right? Those queens.
Yeah.
So, but the rest of these, their first brood is starting to hatch, so they're going to start to grow now, hopefully. So I'm just trying to get them to populate that box. And if I don't get honey off of those colonies, great, whatever. But I need them to make it till next spring.
Yeah, limited harvest, but you're growing them. That's what you need to look at.
So that's what we're working for. Let me see. Hey, Mark, are those lids behind you treated wood, or did you dip them in something?
They're Man Lake treated.
They're the treated
Mark,
ones like I bought, right?
same ones you bought, Bob. I like them.
Do you
These
do
are
anything to them, or you just put them on like that?
they're snazzy. I don't even think I'm gonna drill holes in these this time. I'm just gonna paint them and
Yeah, that's what I
Come
did. Painted them, but I did buy some saws, but then I went to Walmart to try to find mason jar lids to go in the holes, and they didn't have any solid lids. So
Hey, James.
I usually drill a small. Go ahead.
Yeah, James, there's a guy in Manitoba that's got a Cowan line for sale. Honey extractor line.
the Cowan line is so big, though. Have you seen how big it is?
Depends on what size, I guess. I know that they make a small unit, but I don't know.
I'm interested in that one Bob was looking at the other day.
Oh, the uncapper?
Yeah.
The Chinese uncapper?
Yes, sir.
If they'll ever come back to me. China respond to my message there.
So, Mark, you used to have a bunch of pretty boxes behind you. I used to say, hey, what are you doing with all those pretty boxes? They need to be out in the yard. Are they in the yard yet?
Yeah, the vast majority of them are. What ain't's going to go back out there next week.
Looked like it had a stack ready to go, that's for sure.
Hey,
All right, we got
Larimar Farms.
54 people watching and only 26 thumbs up. Sting that like button, please.
Happening, Keith.
Let's see. I'm supposed to go tomorrow and do a removal, so I don't know. It's supposed to rain off and on, so I don't know if it'll be a best of times to do that. But
It's
it is
supposed to get down to
under
36 degrees here.
How cold?
36.
It was like that earlier in the week.
If you're getting our weather from yesterday, Bob, you're going to have a nice little rain. It's supposed to be clear here this weekend, but we had a nice rain yesterday and this morning.
It's saying 10% chance tonight, and then Wednesday we're supposed to get real rain. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But it's so tomorrow is 80-degree high with a 45-degree low. And then we're still doing that 40s and 50s, low 50s overnight. Tonight it's supposed to be 62 overnight, so we'll see. And I've got one colony that I don't want to say VSH, but man, they pull the brood out. If I don't know, that's the only colony that I'll go by, and it'll have brood that they've pulled out of the cells and dropped on their landing board. So I don't know if they're just hypersensitive or if they're something wrong that they're just like pulling it out, or if it's drone brood they're pulling out. You know, I don't know what they're pulling or why they're pulling it, but that's
it could be where you opened it up and killed a few too. They dragging them out.
Could be. I don't know.
If you did a split and you didn't carry enough nurse bees over there, you may have killed. They didn't have enough coverage on the brood, and they may be you may have killed some of those.
That split has been made for a month now.
Okay.
So it should have had them out of there, right? They should have been gone if that was the case. But who knows?
I mean, I did that last year. I did a split and didn't pull enough nurse bees over there, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of dead bees and larva carcasses at the bottom. I'm going, what's going on? It's my own fault. I mean, I didn't pull enough nurse bees over there to take the coverage.
You know, I've got that, and maybe James will pop in here in a minute. I've got that 3 6-frame nukes with the 2 deeps on top of it.
Right.
Now, remember, I only had 2 nukes there, and I added a nuke over there with the queen, and so I smashed the 2 together, right? So the original one stayed in its place. I moved the most powerful one to the middle and then put the other one on the outside. But now the 2 on the right side look very much stronger than the yellow one that's on the left side. So I might do the old shuffle-roo tomorrow. Pull the top boxes off, move the weaker one to the middle where the stronger one was. So all the forager bees that come back go into the middle box and help that colony out. I don't know. I've never run that 3x6, so I don't know what the ramifications will be on that. So maybe that's something those guys in Canada that run it all the time would might have a little influence on, tell me what to do on it.
Nightly.
And Brian, I didn't go to Corey's. I went to Kent Williams yesterday at his little bee school.
So what did they? I know he had invited me out that way. They have it once a year or something like that. But so didn't they do a lot of different things? Like show how to for beginners packages and things like that, and
Yeah,
and,
just whatever you wanted to sit down to listen to.
what did he have? Different teachers, I guess you would say, in different
Yeah,
areas.
different speakers. Yeah,
Okay.
had it on trapping and comb honey and witching.
What is it?
Yeah,
Using the divining rods.
yeah, dowsing, whatever they call it.
I can do that. I have the.
Dowsing. Yep.
I've done
Right,
that. And it ain't no bull. They
Do you set your hives there?
No, I don't see what that's got to do with anything.
It makes a difference.
Eugene says he's going to Kent Williams tomorrow.
It makes a difference. Try it.
Really?
Yep.
I think Hale fell off his chair.
I've never heard of that before.
You never heard of that? Try it.
No.
Try it. Find you a place. Put your hive there. And just try it.
And what's it supposed to do? Make a big, robust hive?
I don't know. It's a magnetic field or something, and the bees are just more prone to come to it.
Really?
They do
You
better.
mean like a trap or something, or what?
No.
No.
Just set a hive there. Yeah. It'll be your best honey hive.
I don't know. I have to see that in action.
You just got to try it. That nobody can really tell you. You just have to try it.
Tell you what, the direct sunlight, I don't know. I'm still, the jury's still out on that for me, because it does help in one instance and I think it hurts in another instance, with the temperature. So I don't know which is the lesser of two evils, right?
Kind of depends where you look, where you live, I guess. I think, and where like if you're down, Texas or places like that where the heat is tremendous, it might not work well for you.
Mark's going to the tool shed. Screen bottom?
Top.
Screen top?
Put that on top. Put your lid on top of that.
And that just
All right, so that's
the whole
it's a ventilation top.
But I use them like for my move bees. But if it's real hot, and you got a few of these made up, just set them on top. They get plenty of ventilation. They'll carry your honey out quicker too.
Well, do you put a migratory on top of that? That way it vents out the sides.
Yep. Your honey will cure out faster too. It'll dry out quicker because you get more airflow.
Where'd you get your honey jars behind you?
Up in Kentucky. At Kelly.
Kelly?
Yeah. I just drove by there in a semi and picked them up.
So you can do that when you got the truck. Hey, I'm just going to make a little detour.
Yeah.
My lunch break.
Yeah.
Come back with 53 foot of boxes and migratory covers. And
I want some of them treated boxes like these, but every time I look, they don't have.
Jason wants to know where the rods. I never done rods. I always had a peach or a cherry, switch with a divide, and I could hold that thing and it would actually burn take the darn bark right off of it. I could
They
find
had
water.
They had a guy there demonstrating it yesterday, talking about putting the hive there in the whole 9 yards. Of course, I've been doing it for a while now, and that's my favorite spots to put a hive to. There's always a hive there.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is.
Never
but
heard of that one.
It is something to it.
Oh, my. I'll be back for a minute. Hold on.
You can't leave. It's your show.
I know, but you gotta kind of hold on.
I do it all the time. Just get up, walk off, and go get a drink while people are talking. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a ton of queens. How many have you got sold already?
Oh, about 200 or more.
200 of them?
Yeah.
Now, my biggest question is, you're mailing them, right? So
Yeah.
the shipping on the mailing, is that hard? I mean, is that hard to do? Or you got to carry a big thing of queens up to the post office and drop them on the counter all piping at everybody in the post office? And they're
Just
like,
put them in them little shipping boxes. What I do is I got them in them little JCBC cages, and I put a drop of hot glue on the bottom, and then stick the neck of that cage right on that hot glue. Glue them in there, and all you got to do is pop it out.
But you got the caps over the.
Yeah, got the caps over it, and it's got candy in it too. Yeah, with attendants.
So how are you putting the attendants in the cage? What I've been doing is I'll take and I cheat.
I use my fingers. Now,
So I just break the little queen excluder bar in there, and the bees can get in, but the queen can't get out. And then once it's got attendants in it, I just put a little piece of tape over it, a little piece of duct tape on it.
Yeah, I just stick them through the little hole.
You just put them in?
Yeah.
By hand?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Now you can take, if you want to, and get you one of them glass pipes and just stick them on there and then trap them in, and then they'll go right in there. You can just put your little hole in there and blow
I'm
them right
more
in.
worried about the queen getting out than the bees getting in.
You got to keep your thumb over it. When you get an attendant, raise your thumb and poke them in there.
You got 200, and you'll be sitting there all day putting attendant bees in there.
It don't take but a second to put 5 in. Just a second.
And the candy I've been using, they've had a hard time eating the candy out of it. So
What are you using?
Just fondant, baker's fondant. And then what I end up doing is after 2 days or so in there, when they're loving on her, then I just pretty much pop this little thing open on it and let her walk out and do what she wants to do. And
I just use powdered sugar and taro syrup, and keep kneading it till I get it to the texture that I want, and then just poke the cages in it, fill it up.
Brian said crack pipes. I saw on the stream team when they had Stan Gore on there talking about those pipes, but I saw it on Barnyard Bees way before Stan ever showed it over there on the little crack pipe tool.
Well, you can take that pipe tool and just go over them attendants and catch them. Boom, boom, boom. Stick your foam in there, and then stick that cage up there, blow them in, close it. You're done. It don't take but a second. I just catch them because I can't keep up with the pipe.
James says he's headed to the apiary, so we might get the check-in from James in a minute. See, you need to have. See, if Lee was on here, he would have a streamer up. Up next, live from Alberta, Canada, James McNally, right? And then, or Mark Miller from Tennessee, pop up there.
You there? Okay.
Let's see. Did you get your popcorn? That's you did. Yep, crackers. Cheese,
No, I got
nice
cheese. I got my soda.
I've been on vacation all week, y'all. I've been working.
Mark, what is the cost to ship a queen? A queen or multiple queens? Randy's wanting to know.
Where's Randy at?
Randy is in Ohio, and you're in Tennessee.
What part of Ohio? South?
I think he's in, I want to say up close to Bryan, like central. He's like northeast area if you divided it in 4, northeast side.
Dude, next day air, it's expensive if you know your post office pretty good. You drop it in the post office and get by with it. Go pick it up the day, it's there that morning. Don't let them
sit in there.
Yeah. If you'll go pick it up, it's a whole lot cheaper.
Well, I know I got a discount when I ordered them from Jose. And then the shipping was about $100 to come from California here for 25 queens. We're talking a little cube package, and it's light, right? It's not heavy at all. And it was about $100 to overnight it here. So whatever your queen price is, just add 100.
Yeah.
On that.
Depending on how far it's got to go and all, it gets expensive. Somebody asked what's behind me in them boxes. Them are jars.
Honey jar.
There he is.
He don't come online
Minnesota Mike.
Hey guys.
Hey Michael.
Hey Mike.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Everyone doing good?
Yes, sir.
How's the kitty cat?
He's actually a little under the weather here. Yeah, he's getting on in years, so he's doing okay.
Where's Blackie at?
Which one?
I don't know.
Yeah, the kittens are.
Now look at this here, Mike.
You need to feed that cat, Bob.
Oh my goodness!
It's starving to death.
Oh wow!
Floor, so I went and grabbed her.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Mark, I was going to ask you. Do you have any predominant strain in your queens? I mean, are they Carney, Caucasian, Italian, or is there something you prefer in the mix for you?
Well, Mike, I've been running Carneys for several years. I really like the Carneys. And of course, I've been picking from the best over time, right?
Yeah.
And I have a little VSH in them. But I've mainly been looking for overwintered, how frugal they are. So now I'm raising queens from Corey stock, and they're mating with my Carneys.
Okay,
and
really?
Corey's they're Italians, VSH. So they're mating with the drones from my Carneys right now, pretty much.
Interesting. It'd be kind of fascinating to see is the frugality difference between the Italian mix and your Carneys.
Well, they're going to be go-getters. I can tell you that because it's a mix, right? So
yeah,
you get that hybrid vigor.
Yeah, I had someone sell me surreptitiously some Italians, and they ate my profits. That was gone. You know, it was. I can't run them here.
Right. You need the overwintered ability.
Well, this is last year was the second year of a drought here, so they actually had. I put a number of honey supers up there, and they drew the comb out, and they started filling them up, and they drew out the ones above that, and then they just ate them all. They ate all the stores.
Is your season pretty short? I'm sure it's pretty short up there, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, and we don't. We really don't have a fall flow here at all.
Well, I don't either.
Yeah, that's right, Charlie. I'm sorry, I forgot. yeah, closer to the Minnesota-Wisconsin border, they get ragweed fields and fields and fields of it. And I love that stuff because it reminds me so much of buckwheat. I grew up on buckwheat.
Was it ragweed or goldenrod?
I'm sorry, goldenrod.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, I think we have a mix there, but it was interesting. Troy and I are driving through there, and we're watching all these fields going on, just absolutely in full bloom, and with nothing that we had here at all.
What's your, I'll say, main nectar flow in your area?
Haven't a clue. We think it's mostly, well, for me right here, it appears to be the wildflower that comes from the forest floor. I'm next to a 30,000 acre wildlife refuge.
Right.
And then we have some of the flowers that come up in the bogs and the marshes and whatnot. Some of them are pretty interesting.
So you don't have any like special type trees, poplar or?
No, but actually last year I saw something we'd never seen before. There were tons of pin cherries that blossomed. The spring was amazing at how much blossoms we had. And I really should have filmed some of it driving through the woods. And it was just magnificent. Trees that we'd never seen flower before. We do have some basswood, variations of that here.
Right.
But then the drought hit. That was it. Shut her down. In fact, most of Troy's honey came from just east of the St. Croix River, which is the dividing thing between Minnesota and Wisconsin. So that was, but I usually have a really, really dark, rich honey that comes out. And honestly, I suspect part of it is actually has to do with some type of aphids on the conifers. So we have some, like darker honeydew in there too. And boy, does that give it a good flavor. But that's about it. Just kind of doing that. Mark, I know what Bob and Charlie's has got going on. What's your weather like there right now?
It's cold and wet. Now,
Is it?
It's supposed to get down to 36 tonight, I think, or 38, and about the same tomorrow night.
Okay.
So it's cold right now. It's been beautiful all week, and then boom, it's coming in.
That's what hit us here too. Yeah, we got a little bit of the downswing from the snowstorms that Ian has up there, and nothing that stayed on the ground here. But it went from like 80 degrees down to 30.
Yeah, what we're getting is what's coming from y'all right now, I think.
Well, I was wondering.
That's what we're getting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Charlie, you were about 80 something today, weren't you?
Yeah, at least. And then it's supposed to go over the weekend. We're getting that storm that's coming across the Midwest.
That dance there.
And
Okay.
that's going to hit us.
Yeah.
There's Doug.
Hey. Hello.
How's everything up in your territory there, Doug?
You're getting our weather now, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. Doug, whereabouts are you?
I'm on the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border, about
Right on the border.
40, 50 miles from, about 50 miles from the U.S. border. Manitoba-Saskatchewan border.
I have quite a few extended family members that are up in Saskatchewan. And they take pity on me. They send me buckwheat honey every now and then, which I really, really appreciate too, by the way.
You like that stuff? I mean, that's
I grew up with it though.
it's like
Clover and buckwheat.
it's like eating mud.
Oh, I don't. To me, it's the red wine of honey, honestly, But
I don't like wine.
Do you like burnt
Well,
eggs, Phil?
I was just going to ask Charlie if you have a glass of red wine. I bet you put an ice cube in it. So, buckwheat honey, blah. Oh, come on, Ian.
It's just blah.
Actually, I had a German beekeeper give me some, or send me some Black Forest honey. And it's the Black Forest honey. I think the thing that's closest to it is also in northern Turkey. And I think it's mostly aphid honeydew from the conifers. And it actually has almost a molasses flavor to it, which is really interesting. So just kind of doing that. Ian, did you lose any buckets, my friend? I was thinking about you guys up there with the wind after the snow. See if he pops up there. But anyways, that's what's going on here. The ground frost is gone, so we have mud. You don't want to be running the skid steer, in some of the back areas that will just sink right down. So,
Well, now have you taken the insulation off your stuff?
no, and I'm not going to.
No, we
And
haven't either.
yeah, I want them to be as warm as possible so they'll brood up. In fact, I don't think I'll take it off until the 1st of May.
Mhm.
Any signs of bearding that I see, that might be an indication to me, but no lost buckets. Oh, you filled them. I was wondering about that, Ian. Yeah, Russell
And,
Cooper and I were talking about that.
Ian wants to know, Doug, how your bees wintered this year outside.
Really good. We're about 7.4% for loss.
Really?
Nice.
7 point. That's great.
Probably a little better than that. The last yard I didn't calculate into it. Nathan told me there was only 1 out of 50 lost in it.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
You were talking about goldenrod down there?
Yes, sir.
Last fall, everything was yellow here. When we extracted that honey from the goldenrod, it was about the color of Charlie's yellow boxes back there. I've never
Was it really?
I never seen anything like that. Yeah.
Wow.
They tell
What
us
is that?
they tell us that's not good honey to winter with. It's supposed to have a lot of ash in it. But
Yeah, I believe it.
but we didn't bother us.
Well, they always say around here that the stuff smells like dirty socks.
Yeah.
What's it taste like? You know?
Honey.
Oh, come on, Doug.
I can't tell the difference.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. That's interesting.
We creamed,
Yeah.
we creamed most of it, and it creamed all right, fine.
Wonderful.
Right.
That's a good thing.
We lost Bob here. I don't know what happened to him.
It
No, he's
has a
back.
stronger flavor.
Sorry, internet crapped out.
Ah,
Bob, what's your cat's name?
This one, what
Yeah.
I call it, Fat Puss. That's what I call it, literally. So, but I think her name is Asta.
You think?
Well, it was my mother-in-law's cat before she passed away.
all right. Now we got a live video out
Oh,
here.
there we go, Doug.
There he is. All that snow.
Okay.
Bob, my cat got in the chicken coop today.
That's my backyard.
Wow. You got a fair amount there. What
Now,
what happened
now
with your
he-
cat and the chickens?
Let's see now.
I got him out in time.
What
He
was
didn't
that?
kill none.
Okay. Okay. Sorry to interrupt there, Charlie.
Now I was interested where Doug is located at. You're on the Manitoba, Saskatchewan border there.
Border, yeah.
Yeah. Where Brad, he's north of Ian, the way I understand it, and he doesn't have, his snow is pretty much melted. Then Ian's getting hit again. So it's kind of a weird weather setup.
Ian would be straight east of me. Probably 90 miles, 100 miles east of me.
Well, Brad's about 180 miles I think
Yeah.
north of him.
Yeah, he's up with the Eskimos.
Is that right?
Oh, goodness me.
He's on some
That's
kind
funny.
of lake up there where they have to cut the ice or whatever. I do know that.
Yeah, he's right
Yeah.
near Lake Winnipeg up in there.
Yeah, something about the lake. The water runs backwards or something or other. Hey, Joseph.
Hey, Joseph. Say, James was, I think he flew something by here. He was selling propolis. Gonna have to backtrack there.
Oh, here we got a live. Right from let's see.
From
Here we go.
Alberta.
Here we go, Alberta.
Evening, guys.
Hello. You got some good sun there left.
It looks daytime.
I was going to say, I was going to put my winter parka and everything on and my big, fur hat and everything. But
Look at that.
I can't.
You had snow up to your knees there. The one video.
Absolutely, yep. So let me see if I can do this here. See if I can flip this camera around. But this place is absolutely jammed packed.
What was that? A honey hive over there, James? That big tall one?
No, that's just my spare frames. All my drawn comb in there. So, what do you want to see, Charlie?
I don't know. Let's see. Can we dig into a hive?
Well, how about I'm standing beside this one. Will that work?
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'm going to give my my lovely wife here. I'm going to give her the
there
camera.
she is. Well, let's see your wife. We've never been introduced.
Hello.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
You too. I'm not very happy about being in here. I'm not prepared, but look at him.
You have a brand new suit. I know you do.
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, goodness.
Tell James. James.
Oh.
Ian says that your yard looks great.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Let me see if I can flip this camera around here. Oops. See how I do this.
So your wife thinks you're coming down to South Carolina for work, but we all know you're just coming to see me.
There we go.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Surprisingly good quality.
What do you got there, James? A flow hive smoker?
Bob, wait. This is going to drive Brad absolutely nuts.
That's a flow hive.
A flow hive suit too.
Alrighty. Well, come on up here so they can see as we crack into this thing.
All right.
So, all of these nukes, all of my doubles, I've taken at least one, and in some cases, 2 nukes out of them already. So that's what all of my 6 framers are here. And this is what I still got for bees.
Okay.
Well, they're spread out.
It drops and it goes crazy. It's because there's bees flying and I'm running.
This is after you've taken your splits out. Your
This
nukes
is
out.
after I've taken this hive. I think this hive I've taken 2 splits out. So let's take a look.
They're
and see
even
what's
more
at the bottom.
calmer than Ian's bees.
I'm just going to throw my veil on because I don't want to get stung in the face.
Chicken.
But your wife's standing there. Au
Thank you,
natural.
Bob. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that.
See, way to look out for your spouse there, James.
So this is, maybe take a look here too. Like both hives are absolutely still packed.
What's the green frame? A drone frame?
Well,
No, that's painted wood. That's probably a storyboard.
so let's take a look. These were put in here on this past Sunday.
$5 that story frame.
Yeah.
So Actually, take a look at this one. See if you can come up close. So this is exactly what Brad was saying was happening. They're drawing worker comb out here. But look at this. This is all drone comb, just exactly as he said. So this is a week. Well, yeah, not quite a week actually. They're put in on Sunday, so we got a couple days to go yet before we hit a week.
Interesting.
So once you get done there, James, explain. I don't quite understand what the purpose
Of the storyboard is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll pull this back out. So for myself right now, as you know, as I'm trying to grow, I have to stretch my drawn comb. I am short drawn comb. So this is, this is just half of a piece of foundation dropped in there.
Got that.
But what Brad is saying is, as they draw this brood comb out, they won't. He's saying they won't have as much burr comb all over the hive. And if you take a look, I mean, they're drawing this frame out, they're drawing the other frame out, but there's very little burr comb over the top. Like they're drawn exactly as he said they would. Now, from this, this is Brad's invention, so I don't want to take any credit for it. But what he was saying is, they won't. By looking at this, it tells you they won't start drone comb or drone brood until they have everything else they need. So basically, what this does is, by looking at that board, you can see what the hive is like before you dive right into it. So you can pull a storyboard, and it basically tells you what the story is of inside the hive. But for myself, it's just a way to extend my foundation that I have. So you can see they're just starting to open this capped honey up. So you notice some have buckets on them, some don't. So I've only been giving them pretty much enough just to stimulate them. Now this queen could be anywhere in here, because if you notice, I don't have a queen excluder on there.
Now, if you put a green drone frame in, wouldn't that be the same thing as that storyboard as far as
Pretty
less?
much, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
James, I saw that you're going to try and extend your frame, so you're putting those in. I thought that was pretty clever.
It's working for me so far.
Also
Good.
gives you sections of your comb that you can use for cut comb honey if you wanted to cut those out.
If you wanted, absolutely, yep.
Yeah, and Russell just pointed out that you might be able to get some nice swarm cells off of those story frames.
So do you see the brood that I still have in here, guys? Like, look at all this cat brood already. I'll kind of hold it up in the sunlight here.
Now, how long have they been out, James, of the building?
I'd have to go back and take a look. I'm thinking 3
Been
weeks.
a couple weeks at least.
And this side is the same thing. Absolutely just covered.
Yeah, but
And they're
how much
actually
brood
hatching
was it when he came out of the barn?
about a frame to a frame and a half.
You're only halfway through the box, so.
Oh yeah, and there's brood in the top box as well.
Good. Building up.
Here's
That looks like some fresh wax there.
and
I
it
can
is-
see the larvae in there too.
This was a brand spanking new piece of foundation I put in here a week ago, and it's already laid up.
Well, I see nice fresh wax there.
Yeah, if you come around over here on behind me, honey, then they can see. Like this is all laid up as well. Like these queens are just absolutely rocking it.
Very nice.
Someone type in an email?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm done. Thank you, Bob. I forget about my microphone.
Oh, that's what he's digging out there. Got stung, did you?
Nope.
Half of our
I don't want to get stung either, though.
one nail will fix that problem.
So that's here's another brand spanking new piece of foundation I put in there.
Plastic
Oh,
foundation.
growing out nice.
And look at all the eggs and larvae inside as well.
Yeah, I can see it.
Like I said, these queens, they are absolutely just rocking it.
Wow.
And what I did here is, and this was probably be a little bit confident, or here's another one where it's all laid up. So I checkerboarded that one in between, which I was humming and hawing whether that was the right thing to do, but I'm glad I did. So you can see this is all about to be capped. This side here is already capped.
And that's the difference between waxing a plastic frame and just dropping it straight in with the factory wax on it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
At least that's been my experience. When the ones that I've dropped in, that is Premier Foundation too.
That is Premier Foundation, absolutely.
And you re-wax those as well, right? You didn't just go natural.
These ones I did. So a Premier sent me 300 frames because I had issues last year. So they sent me 300 foundation, of which I'm going to put on without waxing. But and we're going to see how it's going to do. So
Can I just smoke myself?
Yep. So that's a typical hive for me right now. Like I said, it's busting at the seams. They really are.
So now your medium, James, is that still full of honey, or is she working up into the top of that?
She's working up in there as well. There's brood and everything in there too. Let's I don't know, pick a nuke, honey.
Oh, I just don't want to get stung. I don't care where you're looking.
Well, let's come up here and out of the way so you don't have to, where you can stand where there's no other bees.
Yeah, grab one of your nukes. The nuke on the left there, might as well.
All right.
Yeah, Sourwood, that is Premier Foundation.
Is this one of the new nukes you just made or no?
This is one that I just made. Yep. So that patty was put in there a day and a half ago. It's only half a pound, but there's not much
It's
left
almost
of it.
gone.
And they look happy with it.
That's the global with the apis, right?
Global with the apis, correct.
And 15% pollen,
15%.
real pollen.
So once it's just a frame of so basically honey. So this is going to have a brand spanking new queen in here. So this will be the friction since we put her in here.
Well, we know she's at least 24 hours old since that's how far you had to drive.
Correct, yeah. See how they've drawn this out?
Boy, they really have their
when
games.
you made the split.
So you got
that was a
you got
Emma
of course you're
frame
feeding.
when
That's
I
what you're
put it
doing.
there. Correct.
Now, is she marked in here?
You can see all the new bees. I don't know if you guys can see this. She's not marked, no. But look at here. These are all new bees. Still fuzzy.
They do have some fuzz, huh?
They're actually happy. Well, look right here. You can see right there, they're hatching out.
Look at that.
Tuna's way out. There's the queen. Right here.
Where?
Oh, yeah.
There's-
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
Boy, that's a bright tan one there.
That's a New Zealand queen. Maybe she
That's
don't
a New
speak
Zealand queen, yep.
Canadian yet.
Yeah. Smells like kiwi.
Well, New Zealanders speak English anyway.
Stung, you guys are getting hear real Canadian.
Oh, well, looks. So she has this laid up. There's eggs.
She's been in there since Sunday.
All hatching out.
I was breaking up a little bit out there.
Yeah.
Boy, I can really see why they're going through that pollen sub, those patties. There's nothing around the brood there.
They just came out. Well, they came out of the shed and then were split.
No, they are rocking it.
Did they come out? So you made those. You brought the bees out. How long have they been in that box right now? A week?
Sunday.
Since
Oh,
last-
goodness.
That's it.
And that's when they got their queen, their new queen.
So probably only been out 24 hours, maybe 48 out of the cages. So you guys want to look anything else, Waller?
Where's your pro nukes?
Oh, and dressed.
What I did is I put them all in the 6-frame 3-way pallets. I was expecting other than what we're getting.
I got you.
I mean,
For
weather,
insulation.
once again, it's supposed to be plus 20. So I've
Say-
never had a photographer.
It's a nice thing. Hey, James.
Hey, there's your hive lifter.
James, are all your New Zealand queens
There's
that
the
color?
Hive Lifter.
I don't know if you can.
Yes. Yeah. They
Okay.
were actually really, 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 really nice queens.
You got the pallet forks on.
I can lift a pallet for you if you'd like.
Well, that comes right up. Now, do they make those with self-propelled wheels?
I've seen other
They're not
countries make them like that,
self-propelled.
but
Yeah.
that one-
But just that, I mean, even with that, that's so much easier.
Oh, that's wonderful. James, are all your New Zealand queens that color? Are they all
Yeah, they're all the same.
okay?
Yeah,
Ian was
Ian
And
thought they were black.
They were all. But
Look at that tall. Is
Yeah,
that just
I don't know.
a stack
I
of
don't know.
boxes
Like I
back
said,
there?
I don't know
You
if
got
there's
like
something
a
else
real
anybody
tall
wants to
stack
see,
back
but-
there. What's that tall box? That tall stack back there?
Oh,
This is all drawn comb.
we're on.
Drawn
Oh.
comb.
Yeah, it's just drawn.
Storage area.
And that's exactly it.
You make me want to do pallets now, but I don't want to make
But-
pallets.
Yeah. So that's Yeah,
It
like
is.
I said, I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to.
Ian wants to know, who are James box builders? James
Who?
is.
Somebody type in. Maybe these nukes right here, these dark ones. So those are 3 nukes that we put through the winter. So maybe I'll just show you one of those.
So those will be ready for 10
So
frame equipment.
This is came through the winter. In these. So they're pretty much packed right out too.
Yeah, they got some good central brood going on there.
Oh yeah.
So that lifter costs what, about $1,500?
Guys, on the
You're breaking up. There we go.
is
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're getting a hard leg here.
Well, they look mighty good, James.
That's for sure. Especially we're only being out of the building for a
Couple weeks, right?
couple weeks.
Yeah.
At least.
Hey, Magellan, come on. Come on.
Y'all, I got to get out of here. Battery's just about dead.
All right, Mike, Mark, thanks for
Y'all
the early video of your cell builder.
All
It's
right,
looking
y'all have
good.
a good one. I enjoyed it.
All right.
I
All
Okay,
right,
take
Doug,
care, Mark.
y'all take care, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I went and grabbed another drink.
Well, it looks like the sun's finally setting on you there, Doug.
Yeah, it's getting dark here now.
Yeah. Wow. So what do you guys got going on with your next cycle here? Next week for your bees, gentlemen?
Hopefully start throwing some honey supers on, some more supers, because the nectar flow. I've got the Japanese privet trees are blooming, and they're working those. So
Wow.
I'm just trying to get the my single broods right now to populate, right? So that's what I'm waiting on, some brood to hatch out in there so I can justify putting another box on top of it. I'm focusing this year on making strong colonies, so I'm trying to get them to pack out as much as I can in the box before I give them extra space, where in the past I've added extra space on too early.
We're
Yeah,
just
well,
sitting
now-
here
now- I
twiddling our thumbs. Tonight we're supposed to be going down to 17 Fahrenheit. Tomorrow night, 10
Oh,
Fahrenheit.
really?
Yeah. We're winter temperatures almost.
That is winter temperatures.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Next week we're going to be hovering in the daytime highs around this. I just looked at the weather around the 60s, and then the low 40s at nighttime, and that kind of stuff. And so
I was supposed to do a removal, but she messaged me. She said, "What does it mean if I haven't seen any bees since you were out here?" And I said, "Maybe they left. That's all. It could have just been scout bees going in and out, right? And they decided to go somewhere else." So
yeah.
it's been a week. So and it's been a nice week. So she would have seen tons of bees going in and out.
Yeah, Dan Weaver said he's up in Pennsylvania. I guess he's getting the same weather we're getting, cold front, and next week so the highs will be in the 60s and in the low 40s at nighttime. So hopefully that I won't be doing any grafting, I don't think, at that time. That's for sure. But hopefully I'll get out there tomorrow before the rain does hit and get into some of these honey hives and make sure everything is good. So, what do you got? Brad's in here. Good to see Brad.
Yeah. Very nice.
Hopefully, Brad, I hope you got to see James's yard in his live video.
So now I'll be able to go through my colonies again tomorrow that I don't have to go do the cutout. So that'll be good.
Looking at James, he's about a month ahead of us right now.
Well, why is that? Because he's where he's at, I guess, a different area, or?
Well, he's a lot further north, but he's sure he's got an early spring there. Makes a world of difference.
Yeah, Brad, James just got off. He went through his apiary, dug into some hives for us and everything else. So it was pretty cool looking. I will have to say one thing. Those are some calm bees. I don't know what it's because it was cold or what, but they weren't flying up in their face or anything else.
I've got about 3 colonies and they all came from swarms or cutouts that will just bounce off your face when you open the colony up.
Call them.
I'll probably they might get the queen squish.
There you go. Yeah,
now that I can make some.
Yeah. You got that going on there, Bob. I really encourage you to just get rid of those hot ones. But
I was hoping that they would at least populate out pretty good, and then I would have time to get a requeen in there.
No, that's a good plan.
So
yeah,
I can deal with them. And today, I mean, normally you guys know when I go through my yard, I'll get the random bee just stinging me, right? But but now that the flow's on, they don't care about me at all, right? They're just working trees and coming back. So,
Charlie, where do you market your honey?
I actually sell it here right at my house. We have a mill here, a lumber mill, and I keep it in the office. I sold about, I don't know, 20 some pounds, 30 some pounds here in the last day or two.
Wonderful.
I had one person come in and buy 10 pounds, $100 worth a day. Yeah. Just one person and all. And I don't know, I do about, 800 to 1,000 pounds, from July 1 to July 1 type of thing in a year.
Any farmers markets?
No, I don't have time for any of that stuff. I live right on the main highway, and it's just a 2-lane road. It's a state road, but we're surrounded with a bunch of houses and stuff like that. And am I near Sharpsburg? No, I'm actually closer to Baltimore, in Harford County, close to Susquehanna River, in the mouth of the Chesapeake, or the head of the Chesapeake here, Darren. But I don't know. I don't rely on lumber customers to buy. I mean, there are those who buy that are lumber customers, and then over the last 10 years or so,
regular clientele.
I got regular clientele, and then there's the women that it's a business, so they don't have a problem just driving in and saying, hey, I want to get some honey and that kind of stuff.
Brad said he just delivered 2,500 pounds of honey to his labeling person.
And then I get now. Does Brad wholesale that, or does that guy deliver it out, or does Brad? I think Brad takes it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
did.
sure how he does his operation over there.
Man, Stuffy, sorry to hear that. You couldn't just requeen it? You can look. That's unfortunate. Good load even in my 1-ton truck. Not a bad thing. Wow.
I direct sell and wholesale to stores.
Yeah.
See, that's where our regulation changes here. When you start doing direct sales to stores, then you have to have the whole food inspection come in of your honey processing and everything. But since I can sell 480 gallons right out of my yard here, I don't even make that much honey right now, so it's not an issue.
I think here, I know there was some older beekeepers here that they actually had their honey in some supermarkets here, and I don't think they really had any regulations on that.
Basically, you have to come and have like the people that do would do a restaurant. They would have to come and inspect, make sure you got the sink and the drainage and all that stuff. And a regular kitchen won't work. And I know for sure my porch won't work because it doesn't have any running water out there. Right? I take my stuff outside, or I put buckets of hot water in it and wash it and run it out that way.
Yeah, we're inspected by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. We market to quite a few stores and a lot out the door. The inspection is a bit of a pain. They like to find something wrong with your operation and make you correct it. Easiest thing to do is leave something simple for them to find so that you can say,
Oh, I love that, Doug.
And everything's good, eh?
And then you got to bring them back out. You got to reschedule them to come back out again and inspect again, right?
No, they'll do it all at once. They're more interested in paperwork than anything. At least every inspector is different. But like there's soaps that you can't use. You can't have anything with a wooden handle, any wood in your building, period, and stuff like that. They want to see training sheets. Any of your employees that are working, they have to have a training sheet for them. Your inspection sheet for when you went through your equipment. Lots of stuff like that.
And that's because you're packing honey?
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to extracting, that's one area. And then you have to have, I guess, a separate building or a separate room for packing and all.
It's a separate room where we pack in.
Right.
It's all in the same building.
Right. Bob Benny talked about that. We're trying to get into like these big supermarkets and stuff, all the paperwork and training and this and that, and books after books after books of information that they have to prove to these people and all. And I know, like my mother, she used to work in the what do you call it? Food service, like at the school. And then here come with the health department would come in. And like you said, they actually would even come out and say there's no such thing as 100% perfect. They always said it has to, there's something, we got to find something wrong.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff.
Our settling tank will hold, about 11 barrels. We kept 3. So about 14 barrels of honey we sell locally into stores and stuff like that. We bottle it. Yeah. And most of our customers want creamed honey now, so we have to cream most of it.
Now, how do you go about creaming your honey there, Doug? What's your process?
We have a Lyson machine. It'll hold.
You do?
Yeah, it'll hold about 40 gallons of honey, and have good seed. We'll run it for 3 or 4 days in there, and then I have a deep freeze with a Ronco thermometer on it, or thermostat, and we keep it at 51. So we'll take everything out of the creamer, put in the deep freeze for a few days at 51 degrees, and makes real nice creamed honey then.
Now, 51 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny they should say 51 because I've got my friend Troy, he says 52. And I'm like, you guys are getting nitpicky, but hey, once you find that space, and the funny thing is that, I mean, no matter what you do, I've calibrated anyways, 51 or 52 or 54, you find your sweet spot in that particular one. So, well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, that temperature, the low 50s makes good crystals.
Yeah.
So now you put your honey in this creamer, and I've seen the one down there at the Hive Life where it sits there and spins and stops and then spins for a long period of time, and then you put your seed, as they call it, in there in that mix, right? Is that how that?
Yeah.
And then once it gets to what, a sort of a white crystal consistency in everything.
It's a very, very fine crystal. It's so fine you can't even really detect a crystal.
Okay, but I mean, after you mix it like that for 3 or 4 days, then you put it in bottle containers as far as.
Yeah, we have a bottling machine that'll pump from it into 500-gram containers, 1 kilogram, 3 kilogram, and 7 kilograms.
And then after you put it in the containers that you're going to sell out of, then you put it in the 51 degrees refrigerator.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Now, do you have your own seed source, Doug, or do
we use our own seed?
There you go.
I'll leave, 6-8 inches in the bottom of the creamer.
There you go. Okay. So I'd be really remiss here if I didn't ask, what's your moisture level when you put it in the creamer?
We're around 17%.
Okay. I think somebody had mentioned that he was getting a little bit too dry, like around 16 or 15%, and then it would stiffen up quite a bit.
Ian asked, do you hard set your creamed honey or do you pack it soft?
Pack it soft.
And then let it set in the jar?
Yep.
I can't imagine hard packing it. Honestly.
It stays about the consistency of butter.
I love it. What's your address?
My address?
I think I've got the Porsche fully fueled. I'll be up in an hour.
You drive a Porsche for real?
What?
Do you drive a Porsche for real?
Yeah, I've got a 72, and I love the thing.
911, 914, what is it?
No, yeah, it's the 914. It's the straight 4.
If you're coming, Mike, I hope you have studs all the way around.
Actually, the funny thing is, I've literally never been able to get that thing stuck. I've driven it through two and a half feet of snow, and it's got the skinny, tall Volkswagen tires on it and the mid-engine, and the thing's a damn plow. It's hilarious, but it's kind of fun. But that's I think my granddaughter's going to walk off with that one. It's just kind of fun. But gentlemen, I got to run here.
Mike.
Yeah, you guys have a good weekend, and I apologize that Doug sent me the weather that I'm sending you. Okay, guys. Well,
And we got it from Colorado, so
Okay. Okay. Well, there we go. We got someone upstream to blame. Gentlemen, God bless.
All right.
Uh,
Have a good one.
I might.
We'll catch you later.
yeah. Good night. God bless. We'll see you soon.
Good night.
Thanks for having us all on, Charlie.
No problem. I enjoy it. We're
Okay.
all friends of the beekeeping community here and everything, and that's what it's all about for me.
Amen, brother.
All right, we got Todd here. He's got the
back with
storm
the storm.
caught. Cell signal faded, and I didn't get online. Let's see. 7-8 pounds. One saw was about 3 pounds. And all that.
That first one must not have got the queen because they were still going back up in the tree.
Yeah. But now, Doug, when you were talking about the seed and all, when you first started out with that, I mean, did you buy seed and then, or did you?
We bought some seed from creamed honey from Bee Made out of Winnipeg. About 3
And then
years
that's how
ago.
you started out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've heard some people take a mortise and pestle and sit there and grind to get it way down and all that stuff. So now what you're saying is in your creamer, you leave, let's say 6 or 8 inches of the original batch as your seed. And then after you pour off into the containers and you still have, and you get down to that 6 to 8 inches, then you add more honey to that and then start the whole process over again, right?
Yep. Let's keep it going. Yep.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
And all that.
We sold, 200 cases of cream to China a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was a real pain in the butt. Like up in our country, everything has to be English and French. But for our local stores, our labels are just in English. Well, lo and behold, we labeled everything for China and we had to have French on there for the Chinese people. The other thing we found out too, when you're shipping overseas, your pallets, it has to be engineered wood or wood that has been kiln dried. Like there's so many little ins and outs. It gets to be a pain.
Yeah, it's like pallets and stuff like that here. If you're shipping overseas, they have to be kiln dry to kill all the bugs and everything like that. Now, Brad wants to know about where you're living. You're in. Go ahead.
Brad, if you know where Virden, Manitoba is, I'm just east of Virden, Manitoba, right on the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border, 20 miles south of number 1 highway.
And all. Yeah. So you take all your honey and cream it and then sell it that way?
No, the bulk of it will ship a semi-load at least to Winnipeg every year to be made.
To be made. Okay. To a regular tractor and trailer load, I guess you would say.
Yeah. They'll take 72 barrels, I think, a trailer load. That's kind of what I was curious about James when he I don't know whether he's ready for his harvest. If he has 175 hives, I was calculating.
That's James right now has 76.
76. Oh, okay.
He went from 15 to 78 and then lost 3 colonies over the winter.
Yeah, but I figure he'll be up to about 170 some by the time he splits and goes on.
And that 13 frame extractor is going to be putting in some work, baby.
I'll tell you, he's going to hate himself.
Something about he was supposed to get a bigger extractor and they couldn't get it, and that was all he could get at the time.
That was my note about the Cowan line, Charlie.
Here he comes. We can ask him right there.
What did I walk into?
He was asking about your 170 hives and harvesting and all this kinds of stuff. Hey,
Doug
Ed.
said there's a Cowan line for sale in Manitoba.
Yeah, I've been looking at a whole bunch of them here. So
Because you're going to be putting in the work on that 13 framer.
12
12
frames, you know. So, but
Like
you better start tomorrow.
You'll produce
what was
about
that?
20,000 pounds of honey this year.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be still growing. So most of those nukes that you saw out there tonight, those are all for, well, part of my business plan is to sell those nukes early. That provides me the cash flow for the rest of the year and for me to continue to expand. So there's about 60 of those out there that'll be, well, the queens keep going the way they are. They'll probably be ready 1st of May or first week of May, 2nd week of May. They should be ready for market. And then, like I say, with the way the hives are going, you know, I still have lots of time to split again and fill my boxes back up long before honey flow. So lots of work, but absolutely, I definitely should be set up pretty good, I think, for a honey season, provided we get the moisture and the nectar flow and stuff like that. So there's still lots and lots of variables, right?
Yeah, you've got 12 up there, so you'll do well.
I think so. Yeah, we're you know, we're kind of right in a little bit of I don't want to really call it a honey belt, but we're in a pretty good agricultural belt here, so it should do all right.
Yeah, and then you'll probably be what? You're gonna increase or at least double, I'd say, wouldn't you?
My plan is to at least double. So my plan would be to fill all of my my two-way pallets. So that'll give me, what is it? I think I have 100 and that would give me 115, 120 hives, something like this. I'll have to go back and check my numbers again.
Right.
And then all of my three-way nuke boxes. So that'll give me an additional 30. I think there's 39 three-way pallets. So to build my battery up, as Ian calls it. So I should be set pretty good coming out next year. I think that'll probably be a pretty good number. And then I got to feel out what I can handle by myself, right?
Yeah.
Well, you had your assistant with you this evening.
That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome for her to. I asked her if she wanted to come along for a ride, and the fact that she popped out there like a trooper. Right in there. That was awesome.
She's going to be ready for that bee suit and first lesson.
Yep. And so, no, it like I say, you know, it's good. I did hear, I lost signal there a little bit, but I did hear the comment. Somebody was saying something about calm bees. So
yeah, I mean, they were really calm, James.
So that's.
Is it cold? Was it cold?
It was no, it was 9 degrees. You know, and the sun was
what,
still up.
About 50.
Where's Lee?
Lee's in bed.
So,
but you got for that time of night too.
Absolutely, but so I've, like I say, the queens that I put in the boxes are not mine. All the queens in the hives and those last 3 frame nuke boxes, those are my genetic line that I've been working on now for about 6 years. So being as most of my nukes get sold to hobbyists or first timers, I've tried to breed for the trait of calmness. I've been lucky enough to continually to select for, you know, good brood pattern, good honey production, calm, quiet bees, and it's been working quite well. The last 2 breeder queens, actually, I'm pretty sure this will be the last year that I'll be able to use those. So those are part of the Carney line as well. So I've actually got the genetic line traced back on those ones. So things are working. Things are working quite well. You know, I mentioned last night on what was it, last night on Bob's channel?
Yeah.
I really feel blessed with with the weather I've got, the condition of my bees this year, you know, starting out being, this will be my second year as a sideliner. I really do feel blessed. Somebody's looking after me.
Your weather, you're a month ahead of us.
Oh, it's crazy. We dandelions. Our dandelions are starting to pop out here. I mean, it's just crazy. So, you know, I feel, I see Ian's video there. You know, it's November again, and it's just nuts. I mean, I feel for you guys over there. I don't want it, just for the record. I don't want it. You can keep it, you know. But now, having said that, I'm not going to throw stones either, because it'll come over the mountain here. We can see the mountains pretty much from where we're at. It'll come over the mountain and it'll smack us right upside the head, and not even think about it. And the next thing you know, we'll wake up tomorrow with 3 feet of snow. So, but this is it this weekend? No, I think no, not this weekend. The next weekend, we're supposed to be in the low 20s. You know, like low 20 degrees Celsius here. It's 20, 21, 23. It's, I mean, the trees are starting to pop. The pussy willers are coming out. They're starting to lay off the pollen patties there now. I mean, I'm really, all 76 are on 2-way pallets. They're actually, I had 78 on 2-way pallets. So I did lose one more hive. So, you know, before the brood pattern picked up, so I did lose one hive out there. I'm pretty sure the queen was, there was something wrong with the queen, but yes. Right now, all 76 that are out there are on 2-way pallets, and then all of the 3-way pallets are nukes. And I had 6 nukes in 3 ways that came out of the barn as well. I didn't count those, so. But you know.
I'm with you, Ian.
Yeah,
I don't have the. Just said 120 degree day.
No, it's a 120 degree day.
Oh, I see.
So that's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like I said,
9 degrees is 48 degrees Fahrenheit.
I really do feel for you guys. You know, last year you guys were hit with all the rain. You know, this year you're getting hit with the snow. It's like you guys can't get a break over there.
Yeah, we had snow like this last year.
You guys will be the snowball champions of Canada. And I can say that because there's no way you can throw a snowball through the screen.
But we were kind of fortunate. We didn't unwrap ours yet. Normally we'd have had everything unwrapped, but we were putting patties on, and the forecast was kind of bad, so we left the wrapping on them. And I'm glad we did.
Well, yeah, Brad can contest. When I brought them out, I really hummed and hawed and hummed and hawed and hummed and hawed, and I waited, and they came out actually. I looked at it. They came out April 1st, so they've been out 21 days.
One brood cycle.
Yeah, that's what I say. They've been hatching out there now. So I'm going on to my second brood cycle. My drone colony out back, they've been brooding there now for, I think I'm on my 3rd cycle, brood cycle with them. So I've got a hive out back there that's just absolutely packed with drone brood here now. So I'm going to move them out to the apiary here when I get back from South Carolina, and I'm going to start grafting.
Our flow is on good now, started. So I'll be curious to see how my splits with the new queens, if they really start to break it open there. So
they will. Yep, they will.
And then as long as they pack that bottom box, then I'll play it by ear if I'm going to chuck a super on them or not. Or another deep and just let them build into 2 deeps.
Well, I'm struggling with the, I hate to say it, but I think I'm going to be struggling with equipment shortage again this year. You know, as much as I
that's
thought
going to be for the next 3 or 4 years.
Wow. I mean, you guys remember when I showed you the videos and I had it packed to the ceiling there in the garage, and I mean, the amount that I built, I was pretty sure there was no way I was going to fill it, and here I am, April 21st, saying I'm out of
You need
equipment.
another 50 pallets.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a great problem to have, but there's a ton of money in that equipment too, and
Yeah.
it's a juggle game. It really is. I mean, at what point do you say this is what I could do financially this year? And I may be approaching that here very quickly.
Well, see, if you had that Cowan line, you could just pull off the full boxes, process them, and drop them right back on. So you're utilizing your equipment more effectively.
Right.
You need 3 or 4 supers for every hive you've got with the flow you're
correct.
going to get.
And I do.
And
I have those boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, did
And
Charlie
that's
just
what
fall
we
off
do.
his
We'll
chair?
have a
He vanished.
we'll have an early pull to free up supers for the second or third pull down the road too.
Yeah, that's likely what I'm going to have to do. So I do have 3 boxes for each and every hive. My problem is I don't have drawn comb on them all. So I'm going to lose a lot of honey this year trying to get that drawn comb.
Yeah.
And, cash in on the bee sales, turn that good fortune into extraction equipment. That is exactly what I am planning on doing, Ian. So that,
if the price is right, I know a guy with a 30 frame license that might throw it in a trailer and drag it up there. to put in your honey house. I'll just put all my extraction equipment in there.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm waiting to hear back. So there was an old gentleman that retired up here a few years ago. He has an absolute gorgeous honey house built, all set right up with the for the back end semi trailers to load the honey and stuff like that into it. He's got a red room. He's got a hot room. He's got a room on the end for the wood shop and the storage boxes. This thing was custom built for this. He sold out. It went to another individual who went into receivership, and I'm just waiting to hear back from the gentleman who purchased it. It's been sitting there now for about 2 years. The building and everything like that has all been looked after, but it's all grown up and everything around. So I'm waiting to see and hear back from them as to what they would charge me for to lease or at least a purchase of that building. So I should hopefully know that within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
There's Ian's comment. Did you see
absolutely.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's so probably more so than you think. I mean, I've got 100 nukes there right now. As you guys saw, those hives, I could probably split again in 2 to 3 weeks quite easily. And the question is do I keep those for myself, or do I not build more equipment and take that cash and put it into the extraction equipment is exactly kind of where I was sitting at and thinking of. So,
that's the way I would do it.
So as everybody knows, anybody that's been following me, I've been trying to build this business on the initial investment of $10,000. And so far it's been working pretty darn good. So I've always was intrigued on that show where this guy takes $1,000 and goes out and turns it into $1 million. So I figured if I started with 10,000, I should be able to do something, or at least if I hit 5,000, I'll know when to quit. So, but no, it's it like I said, this is interesting. It's a very interesting path that I'm going down right now, and I'll be honest, it really intrigues me. So
it can be very hard work unless you're equipped for it.
Well, I don't think anybody can accuse me of not working hard, and I'm not afraid of hard work. So,
yeah.
I mean, the amount of hours you put in between your day job and this beekeeping job, I don't see how you keep yourself awake enough. To me, actually, you act like you're working like 20 hours a day.
Time management.
Yeah.
Find a good, strong, young school student. Somebody built like a forklift.
Well, ironically enough, I have a 4-H club here that we're starting up, and they're just starting a bee project. And I've got, this is what they call themselves, so I hope I don't offend anybody. They call themselves the Mexicans. So I got 2 guys up here from Mexico. They are funny as hell. But they want to learn beekeeping. They know nothing about beekeeping. And, they're willing to come on and help me. And believe it or not, they're willing to pay me to learn how to do this. So that's just a win-win. So, but yep, exactly.
Now, who wants to learn, the Mexicans or the young kids at the 4-H?
Well, actually, both of them. The 4-H club, that really intrigues me. So I'm donating a couple. Evening,
Hey,
Brad.
Brad.
I'm donating a couple of hives to the 4-H club, and they're all excited. They got their PPE, so they got their suits and smokers and gloves and stuff like that. And really good thing about that is lots of people are supporting them. So the local bee store, Bee Natural here in Grand Prairie, I think they donated a suit, and they gave them, I think they even actually gave them the other suits they needed at below cost. So that was awesome. They've approached Bee Made a number of times, but I don't know whether they're just not talking to the right people. But believe it or not, we haven't got any support from Bee Made yet. I'm sure they just haven't touched the right people or something, because I think this would fit right into the co-op's plan. And then the place that I work, so International Paper, they donated, I think it was $2,500 to them to get this started. So that's gonna basically set them up with a couple hives there pretty nicely. So lots of good support here in town to get these students going and everything of it. And once again, I'm a huge supporter of the youth into getting into this. So.
I
Well, now
think it was
it's
Doug
4-H.
mentioned something. Just a little comment that hire somebody that's built like a forklift. And back in the 80s, I actually worked as a forklift at one point. And I can prove it because I worked at this warehouse. I was the only guy. And I worked there for, I don't know, a couple of years or so. And I found a different situation I thought was more profitable for myself. And so I quit. And like not long after I quit, they hired 2 guys and bought a forklift. So that's why I say I worked as a forklift, because he never bought me a forklift in a couple of years I worked there. Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, we had one young guy that was big, strong, he was still in school. Boy, lived around there. But he graduated with us.
Well, you don't have any 4-H programs that like this, James, like as far as like, cattle and things like that in your.
So they have cattle. Oh yeah, they have cattle, and they got some agricultural clubs. But from what I understand, this will be the first beekeepers 4-H club in Alberta.
Okay.
They've submitted it all to Alberta, Canada, and everything like that too. So it's great to see that they expand, and that the beekeeper industry is starting to get recognized as agriculture. It's been that way for years. It's just never really been anything that anybody ever thought of. Beef everybody thinks of. Cattle and stuff like that everybody thinks of, but people usually don't think that there's a whole lot.
Well, that's like I tell people, like when I would go down with my friend Lloyd, and we would get a truckload of packages in Georgia, And I tell people here, I said, I said, I find it very interesting in our country where different areas have different types of industry. And if you get down in Georgia and in the deep South, I said they've never heard of, you know, uh, companies that, make packaged bees, where they have
Yep.
10,000 hives and they shake bees and they make queens and stuff like that. They never even gave that a thought. It was like you say, that's not the standard out there, and that's across everybody thinks about it when it comes to ag
Yeah.
and everything, and or even with your migratory beekeepers that do pollination and stuff like that. You don't, if there's a truckload of bees that get overturned on the interstate, that's big news because nobody's ever heard of anything like that, stuff like that.
I get a kick out of it all the time because not so much agricultural, but people don't understand beekeepers in general. So with the apiary being just 12 minutes out of town, 9 times out of 10, kind of like I did tonight, you just throw the smoker in the back of the truck so it can't fall over, and you drive yourself into town. And there's 3 lights that I potentially could stop at, eh? Well, you'll stop at one of those and guarantee somebody's going to flag you down and say, "You're on fire. You're on fire."
I've had that. Yeah.
And they really look at you weird when you go, "Shh, don't tell. I'm trying to
Had
collect
that happen
insurance."
too.
They look at you as if to say, "What?" But yeah, you're smoking again. Oh, good.
So, Brad, did you get more snow again?
No, we really haven't got any snow out of this system. A lot of wind and just been cold. We had, some very light flurries
Right.
each day for the last 3, but not anything that stuck around for more than a few minutes. So it looks just like that out here now.
Yeah.
There's almost no snow. There's some snow where it was drifted up near the trees or something, but that's about all.
Yeah, come on, Ian. I'd like to hear. Like I said, it was.
Come
it
join
was
the
a- I
fun.
was- yeah, I would love it. Perfect. Come on in. I really was impressed by Echo and the place down there. And I guess what really inspired me was to know that, if the possibilities. I mean, the possibilities I could go. They started with 150 hives, she said, and
10 minutes.
and here I am. It just the potential. It all looks good down on paper, but you gotta prove it. And of course, there's a lot of good fortune and there's a lot of good decisions that got to be made in between there. But it really was inspiring.
And as far I guess they had what 50, 60 apiaries for that amount of hives that they would have. I don't know.
For 15,000 hives.
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that number.
Yeah, and then you wonder is like, all right, how many hives per apiary would they have?
Yeah.
I know the guy
usually
that
around-
we get our package bees, he has
Usually
about 6 to 8,000 hives, and of course they're shaking bees.
Yeah.
And they have them all over the area there.
Most
Yeah,
yards
Dave,
are about 50.
About 50 per apiary.
Yeah, that's a pretty good average.
So if you take a look at where they're at, like if you pull up Google Maps and you take a look at, say, around Tabor or Vauxhall or, southeast of Calgary, it's all irrigation country. So the good part about that is there's usually never a really, they could have a drought, but it's all irrigated. So you still end up with a crop. And when you irrigate like that, in each quarter section of land, all 4 corners of that quarter section is prime area for an apiary because it's not something that they plant. It's not something they seed, and it's not something they get harvested. So, I mean, you could all of a sudden there's a lot of prime real estate for an apiary in an area like that gets irrigated.
Now, do they have pivot irrigation?
Yep. So it's
Or is
piped
it
out to, it's
or is
piped.
it rolling type irrigation?
No, down south, like I say, if you pull up Google Earth, then you can see it. So it
Mhm.
literally is it's piped out to the center of the quarter section. Then they have this big single arm that tracks around and around and around the field. So if you can think of each quarter section is a nice square, and then you're drawing a circle inside the square, well, all those corners are always open all the time, and they don't harvest that. So it really makes, like I said, prime real estate for an apiary. So
Yeah, I know down there in Georgia, they would have certain fields that were have those pivot arms, and
yep,
they were planting corn, let's say, and right where the arm would, like you say, miss with water, that's when that corn stalk might be. They might plant there, but it's just outside of where it's spraying with water, a really good dose of water.
yep,
And it might be 6 inches tall there where everybody else is 2 foot tall.
right. Well, and all the water down there is supplied in a canal, so the bees are always within a certain distance. You're never too far from an irrigation canal, and because it is irrigated, it always rains. With the water on the crop on a regular basis. A lot of benefits to it.
Where do they get all their water from in that area? You have like snow.
Yeah, so they've got reservoirs and stuff like that, and then the Bow River and everything like that is down there as well. So
I didn't know whether they captured a lot of the snow, like
they
in
do.
lakes to try to capture all that snow water melt.
They do, yeah. There's big reservoirs and stuff like that down there. Now I'm interested to see what Ian's going to say. It's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad. I'm going to guess it's going to be really, really good. So, like I said, they really seemed like good people down there. I was thoroughly impressed. So, anybody that is concerned enough to make sure that I made it home safely and had a fresh cup of coffee down there waiting for me when I got there, that they get a 2 thumbs up from me every time.
And a breakfast sandwich.
They know you're a total YouTube phenom, so they want to make good showing and make sure you talk them up.
I don't think I actually don't think they even know I exist on YouTube.
I don't know.
So
don't count on it, my friend.
But yeah, like I said, I wish I would have had more time. Like I say, I was down there and back, but I would have loved to. I would have loved to have been able to share the facility and stuff that I saw from where what little I had. But it was very, very well laid out, very, very well set up, and exceptionally clean. So I was impressed.
Well, did they have
I had
like
a
a
big
lot
day? I plugged in my electric fence today, so that's my
there you
big
go.
news.
Are you bears
Yeah,
out?
that's my big day. That's my big day. Well, I don't know. Not taking any chances.
No, I know they're out down here. They've been out here for probably 3 weeks. So, in fact, the
warm enough.
April 1st, when I put the bees out, I didn't put the fence up the first day. And I get home, and I no sooner get home, and then Alan sends me a picture of a bear in there, his buddy's barn or something like this, and it's like, uh-oh. So I was out there putting fence up the next day.
If ours come out, they're going to migrate.
Do a warmer climate.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Send them all over here to Alberta. We could all use another good rug. So I want a bear rug in front of my fireplace, but my wife, she just won't let me.
Just reading the comments.
Oh, my phone died, so I can't see the comments on my iPad.
Ah, that's too bad. They're talking about you. It's
Oh,
not good.
well, I was going to say probably not. I got this thing here I could always plug in, I guess.
It's amazing how that works.
It's-
Yeah,
it's-
not very exciting here this week. I just putting up my video for the week, and it's not very exciting. Just mostly building pallets again and again and again and again and again. The same thing over and 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 over.
There you go.
That's it. So I got nothing new to report.
So,
Well, you got all.
Go ahead.
I say,
Pretty boring.
well, in his last video I saw, he got all his holes filled with these different bee boxes and stuff, and then got stung off a little bit there. They got a
Yeah,
little.
Charlie
rowdy.
likes it. He enjoyed watching me sit there and get.
Yeah, I don't.
Boy, that-
I mean,
that one
you're
hive
out there with
took
no
after me.
veil on or anything, and I'm like, are you nuts?
Well, normally I get away with it. That one hive, boy, it was not happy with me at all. They just really took into me. I don't know if I took 10 or 12 at one time, but that was just the one. So I put a big X on that one.
I've been super busy,
Your
but I
days
know,
are numbered.
I know what video I'm going to watch tomorrow during coffee time.
All right, here he comes. There he is.
There he is. Hey, boss.
Welcome, Ian.
Good evening, guys.
What's going on?
Hey, welcome, welcome. Great honor.
Well, I was listening to you guys for the last hour and a half. So I got to turn off.
Apologize.
No, yeah, you're still on there.
Sorry you endured that.
Here, I got to come back in. I have a feedback. Sorry.
Oh, that was short lived. He came in, he saw who was here, and he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hang around with this crowd.
I was just scouring the internet for used beekeeping equipment and didn't see any extraction equipment for James to look at.
What do you use all your pallets? I don't understand. What do you use all your pallets? Ed's asking about frames. My wife's been building frames. She's doing a really good job. I haven't been building frames. Two beef
I
rats.
think what
don't
he's
know.
asked is you're building these pallets and all. They don't understand you're building them for other people.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm building 10 for me, and 150 for another guy. This guy.
If he pops back in.
You'll see this guy in a minute.
So your buddies over at Dancing Bee, James, have a 65,000 Canadian 60 frame Cowan air assist line.
Yeah, just do that.
Yeah, I saw that. That was used when they got there. I'm still mad at them.
But is that a good deal? I don't even know. I mean, it seems like it's a good deal, even at 65,000 Canadian.
That's like $5,500 US.
Oh, buy two of them then.
I can't. I got to change some Canadian money to go down to the States for a week, so I'll have to work for another year.
That's going to cost you.
Just bring your wheelbarrow full when you come across.
Yeah. Well,
Like
they
they
do that when I
used to in Italy.
when I go down there to go shooting. They do that when I cross the border, and we're only allowed 5,000 rounds of a certain caliber up here. You cross the border, you go into the States, and your border agents or Homeland Security, they look at you and they're like, "You're coming down here for a shoot, yeah? You only bring in 5,000 rounds, like that's it?"
Right. It's like you're gonna buy some more in the States.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, look, he's back.
So they're asking why I'm building all those pallets, and what am I building all those pallets for? Building for this guy.
Yeah, you'll notice my equipment's getting newer and newer all the time because of Brad.
I noticed that for sure. I keep it watch, and I tell my wife, "Look, that's my pallet, and that's my lid."
Bob actually made a comment on that. He said, "Ian, your equipment's looking pretty sharp."
Ian, I just I ran out of glue to do the underpinnings. I've only got, I don't know how many left to make, but about 20. But I ran out of glue, so I started doing the tops on the last round that I did. So I've got, I don't know, about 15
Nice.
complete there. And that new modification I made for the back behind the box, that looks really nice. And I think that's really going to serve you well when you're tipping your hives up.
I'm glad he went that way. I thought he was going to say, I ran out of glue, so Ian's pallets don't need glue.
Yeah, so they're not getting any glue. It's just bubble gum.
To be honest, that's what I would have done. I would have just kept building.
By the time he notices it, he'll be ordered another 150 anyways.
And that's why Brad's building them for him.
Exactly.
That's why I'm building them.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, every time I put a piece together, I think, gee, I hope this lasts. I want to make sure this is a good product for that guy. So, I don't want these things failing.
Oh boy, it's a treat.
Make sure you let me know.
Especially I put them on the truck. I tried to group all your pallets and tops together. So I had a full truckload coming out of the shed this year, and I put them on and I winched them as tight as I could, and it was just perfect. None of the boxes shifted or anything. Yeah, it was good.
Nice and solid, isn't it? Yeah.
Solid as a rock, yeah.
It's amazing how they fit. Do you use an angle in between the two lids or something, Ian, for the strap?
No, I don't. No, I just strap the front of each pallet. And they don't blow off. Actually, these tops, I've never had a top blow off on me yet. I don't go very fast though.
Got her.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's a treat. It's a treat to do all that work for you. I appreciate the orders.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, James, I want to tell you about Reese Chandler. I'm pretty sure it's the guy Scandia Honey.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, a small little town. I think he's telling you, and his wife's name's Joy.
Echo.
Or Echo. Yeah, that's right.
Echo. Yeah.
Yeah. They might be giving you just a little bit of a story, because the one that I got was straight from his mouth. And I don't think they started with 150 hives, or maybe they were dabbling with it or whatever. But I was at the BC Honey Producers Association. I was over there and they asked me to speak. So I was in the crowd and they invited him in to speak about the border issue. But he was presenting about his farm beforehand, talking and how he got into the business and that. And he was originally a businessman, knew nothing about honeybees, nothing at all. And he and his wife walked away from this business or whatever. And there's this honey farm for sale in Scandia, 8,000 hives at that time. And he bought it, did it. And he said he didn't know a thing about beekeeping. They bought that. And,
and haven't
years
looked
later.
That's a little different than 150. But
stepped into 8,000 hives, didn't know a thing about honey beekeeping. He might have been telling a bit of a story in front of everybody there, but can you imagine that? It's just that'd be pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, an 8,000 colony operation, you're going to have some pretty good apiary managers on staff, right?
Yeah.
So really, you're the investor at that point. You're the money, and you're buying a kind of a turnkey operation. It's not like a guy like me stepping into something, or James just stepping into something, or even Ian stepping into something cold with 100 or 1,000 or 2,000 colonies, just not knowing anything about bees.
I had to play with bees I think I had 6 hives for 5 years before I thought, hey, I might be onto something here if I can keep these damn things alive.
Yeah, Brad's exactly right. We're drinking beers after and thinking, how could a guy step into 8,000 colonies and not know anything about beekeeping? And we're like, well, of course. I mean, he has a staff there. He inherited the staff, and he's a business manager, so he manages people, and he manages people and that's probably what you see, James. It's just that real solid business sense. And he said he bought the operation, and they had a lot of trouble with American foul brood. And here's a beekeeper standing in front of a crowd saying, "Hey, I had a lot of foul brood."
Yeah,
that's something you never hear. But he was talking about that, and he said how he cleaned it up, as he told his guys. He said, for every foul brood frame that you guys find, either working the colonies or working through dead oats or whatever, I'm going to give you 25 cents. And so, all these guys are looking through the colonies all the time trying to, and he said he had to watch because they try to, pull some old frames and call it foul brood hives. But he said after that, they trained them what to look for, and they're looking for the disease. They pulled it all out of the operation, replaced with a clean comb, and he's never seen it since then. But it's just a real neat idea. Eh?
Who would have thought of doing it that way?
Really.
There's the incentive, a quarter a frame.
Yeah, just purged everything.
With 8,000 hives, that's still a pretty good investment.
It is. He said he has how many crews? Like 4 or 5 crews. He has a certain number of colonies per group of workers, and they're foreign workers that come in, but they've been coming in for a long time. So there's family coming in. So he dedicates a certain number of colonies to a certain area because he covers a very large area. So they're responsible for that. And I asked him, how do you control quality control? How do you make sure those guys are doing their jobs? And he said, well, there's bonuses and all this kind of stuff. But he said the best thing that he's found out is he lets these guys hire in their own family. And he said the family dynamics within the crew work itself. And it sorts out all the problems. Sometimes there's issues, but a lot of the times it's, these guys are working together as a family, and they're, I yell at my brother differently than I would yell at Brad. It's just those different family dynamics, and they kind of whip each other to work properly, right?
Jose, you're going to make us all lose our job.
It's going to be worse than that. Smarten up.
Oh,
Send us back.
Well, yeah, no kidding.
But I mean,
that was a very interesting presentation. I really enjoyed that one. He's very charismatic, and he had the crowd, and it was a lot of fun. So I think that's what you've seen in his office.
Could be actually. I didn't meet him. He was out picking up more queens. It was his wife and one of his hired hands I was talking to.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but I still trying to wrap my head around 15,000 colonies.
Pollination too. I don't think I think they're more geared pollination, but they're making honey too. Like they make a lot of honey. Yeah.
Some of my colonies don't even have 15,000 bees.
Get to work on that, Bob.
Yeah,
that's the whole objective this year.
I think I had 15,000 in that one nuke of mine there I showed you tonight. So, but
I think I'm going to be an investor in James's honey production here. We might have to go in together on that Cowan unit.
Yeah. Did Ian? Did you manage to see what those hives look like at all there tonight, or did you miss that?
Yeah, I caught that. Yeah.
So I just
really good.
They're just.
I'm
busting.
envious.
Boy,
I had 2 cars stuck, SUV and a truck. I had 4 trucks stuck in a bus on my lane this morning, just in a 3-foot drift. Oh man, we need some.
Chev got stuck in the Ford.
Got stuck. Got
got stuck in the tractor. Rudd showed up, pick up the Ford.
I'm sick and tired of winter already. Brad, you didn't get any snow.
We got a few flurries, but there's nothing that stayed around. It was very nice that way.
Doug, you would have got snow though, eh?
Yeah, we're about the same as you. And wet and heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried blowing it today, and I'm dipping into the mud all the time, and it doesn't blow. It's going to have to melt.
Trust us.
No.
From where I seen it for you, it probably really blows.
That indeed it does.
Well, I missed it, James. I missed it. Sorry, I was trucking honey tonight, so couldn't catch
everybody
it. I'll get it on the replay.
So, there you go. But Bob was asking there last night, so I got off of work there tonight, and came home here really quickly, and grabbed the wife, and we zipped out there, and like I wish, like I said, I think that new comb. I think Ian, your comment there last night, I really think that is definitely helping me, because I really haven't done anything different that I haven't done in previous years, but I've never had bees like this. So
Yeah, just like a fresh bed, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Although,
that's
yeah, I mean,
kind
you
of a
should give
lesson for
yourself
all of
more,
us, isn't it?
give yourself a bit of credit too, though, because from what I see, mites is the big one. You're controlling mites, and you have good queens. Like you're buying good queens. You're keeping the stock youthful, from what I can tell, and you're focusing on nutrition. So, I mean, you got your bases covered there. Yeah.
So it's working well. And those Apis patties, they're devouring the ones with the Apis over the regular global patty.
Oh, okay.
I'll still have about a third of the regular patty where the Apis patty will be completely gone.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll be
feedback
seeing
like
that
that's
as soon as
interesting.
I can get in this week. I'll be looking at that because
Yeah.
I put 2 patties on last week when I was in, and they're both global patties, and one has got Apis biologics and the other does not.
Yep.
So it'll
I'd
be
be interested
interesting to see
if you get the
if there's
same
any
results.
difference in
Well, that's what I
consumption.
did.
Now, I have to qualify though. I've got to say, I am not a believer in the idea that, well, they eat it, they want it because, or they eat it because they want it. No, that's not true. They'll eat it because it's got sugar in it. Like, doesn't matter. I don't think consumption means benefit, right? They'll eat all kinds of stuff that maybe isn't necessarily any good for them, or that they don't need. But they're honeybees. They're hoarders. They'll hoard everything they can get, and
Yep.
they go, to excess. And I do it all the time, right? I eat all kinds of stuff that's no good for me just because I love to eat it. And honeybee's no different, really.
The thing that I did
s-
is I did the same thing, Brad. So I put a regular global patty and an Apis biologics patty, global patty, right side by side in the same hive, and I did that in 4 or 5 hives.
Yeah.
And then the next ones I put just Apis patties, 2 pounds of Apis patties, and the next row I put just 2 pounds of global patties. And it didn't seem to make a difference whether it was in the same hive or in different ones. The Apis patties were gone, and I'd go back to the regular ones. I still had about a third of a patty, roughly. I mean, I didn't get out a tape measure and stuff like that, but I was given another patty before the regular global, or another Apis patty before the regular global patty was gone. So whether they eat it or because they're eating it or not, there's something there that was kind of shifting them towards the Apis biologics patty. Now,
Yes.
sugar content, if there's something different, my understanding, and that I could be wrong because I didn't witness them make it or anything, but my understanding is the only difference between the global patty and the Apis patty is the addition of the Apis product.
Yeah.
So,
And,
Yeah, but
and I
did you
agree that
see?
it could be attracting them. It certainly could be something that's attractive to them. Um, Consumption alone, standalone,
yeah,
I don't think is indicative of benefit.
right. Now, I wish I would have,
in that way.
unfortunately, because I'm working a shutdown right now, my goal was, if I had time, to go out and see if there was a difference in brood pattern between the Apis biologic patty and the regular global patty. And unfortunately, I've just been too busy at work to go back and actually do that. But the one thing I can tell you is I'm not sure I'd be able to tell right now, because now there's some regular pollen or natural pollen coming in, and I ended up splitting the hives as well. Now, they all have got brood, 2-3 frames of brood in every hive, and most of it's getting at least 2 frames of cat brood, and now 1 to 3 frames of eggs and larvae in there. So I think I'm too far along to go back and say this was a benefit or that was a benefit. I missed that opportunity.
Yeah, once you have the pollen coming in, then it's just a write-off. Then you can't tell. Nothing beats pollen. What about your larger colonies? The one you have some that's it has a medium on them or something. There'd be more pollen stores in those colonies, right?
There's more pollen stores in those colonies.
Was the consumption difference the same in those ones too? Did you notice, or did you trial those ones?
I did. The consumption was actually higher in those ones.
Okay.
And I think it's just higher. I assumed it was higher just simply because of the larger bee population.
Just more bees, yeah.
So, most of those ones that came out with, and that's one thing I did notice, very, very, very noticeable, is the ones that came out of the barn with the medium on top of the deep, um, came out way, way, way stronger than just the ones that I put away just in the single deep. Um, I mean, they came out packed. If you go back, I actually posted that video. If you go back, you take a look at that video. When I first opened it up, I thought all the bees were up in the top box. And then when I popped that top box off, that bottom box was absolutely packed with bees too. And I've taken the video there. Hopefully, I showed tonight. I've taken 2 splits out of that hive, and they're already hatching out, and it's still just full of bees. Like, um, I feel really weird as a beekeeper complaining I got too many bees.
The old beekeeper that used to be here, he kept bees for, well, his father kept bees, multi-generational, 100. He's not beekeeping anymore, but he used to have what he calls, he called them rabbits, little wee, they're not mediums, but they're like a smaller, there's really odd looking thing. And he put them on top of all his indoor winter colonies. And basically he was talking about just a little bit extra space, just a little bit more for the pollen, just a little bit more for the honey, just a little bit more room for the brood. He said it made all the difference, but I can't imagine running just these awkward little boxes all year round.
Yep.
So
I know it cost me a whole bunch. I mean, I was worried in the fall. I was worried about, I mean, the previous year, all of what got me going is watching some of your bees in your barn, Ian. You know, with the horrible spring you had, and the next thing you know, you had colonies dying in there. You know, I was leveraged pretty far out there, and because I couldn't get insurance or anything, I had less than 100 hives and so on and so forth. So my insurance was that additional food storage and everything, and pollen storage, and that medium super. And when I pulled them out, when I initially pulled them out and found that even some of my 6-frame nukes made it through the winter, initially I'm sitting back saying, well, I don't need that medium. I've got lots. But
yeah.
I'm starting to rethink that a little bit, because
depends what you're after, though. It is all, it's not advantages or disadvantages, it's all about trade-offs. Like, what are you trying to achieve? So if you're looking for efficiency, like I'm running mine right on the line, taking all the honey away, you know, micromanaging in a lot of ways, that's just perfect for my setup here. A lot of different reasons, but if you need a little bit more cushion because you have a second job, you need, you know, it buys you time if you don't get the feed on in time in the fall, or maybe you want to overwinter just a little bit larger and stuff like that. Then you just, you know, tweak your configuration a little bit different that way. Yeah.
So I did pull 100% of the honey away from them last year. Like, even down into the brood box, if they had a capped honey frame in the brood box, I took that away from them last year. So
that'd be a good thing. Yeah.
You know, I took absolutely everything away, and then I plugged them out with sugar water. But what I'm thinking is if I can bring bees out this strong every spring, that gives me that cash surplus if I can sell the nukes to really put it back into my business and boost my business very, 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 very quickly. And it gives me that cash flow, you know, to set me up for the rest of the year. Now, is it an anomaly? It could be. Is it a good decision? It could be. I got a lot of questions, and I don't know if I have answers for them all yet.
Yeah, I remember wintering indoors. I used to winter outdoors, and I transitioned indoors just to suit my style. And I wintered indoors in doubles, and you'd have big colonies like that. But then I remember I had a bad winter, like a 35% loss, and I had twice the equipment to scrape out and clean up. Right, it's like, God damn it!
Never
and all
thought
these
of that.
boxes of honey that I could have been extracting, right? And then going through the next year in the same way, and I still only had a cluster about the same size as a single. I had some big ones, but then I had most of them this way. I'm thinking, why don't I just take that box of honey? Because they're not doing anything on that canola honey anyways. I think I run into trouble this winter again with canola honey. I'm having some of the smaller, like the big ones, they can handle a lot, but I'm having 4-framers coming through, and they're sitting on combs of hard canola honey, and they're good now because I've got a pail of syrup through them, but they were really, really shitty. Like really stressed. That damn canola honey, it caught me again this spring.
So, and I guess I'm not leaving any honey on there. Like, I pulled all the honey.
Yeah.
Bob keeps laughing at me because
he only made 3,800 pounds. Only. Our honey flow has started full swing. I'll be happy to make 50 pounds per hive.
I had nearly that much in my truck this afternoon, Bob.
Hey, I know. I might as well just send you my bees and you just send me the honey. Exactly right.
Like I said, and you've had a video, Ian, about, I think it was 2 or maybe even 3 years ago now, where I think you called it managing the business or something like that. And it's interesting because where I thought I was going to go and what I thought was going to work out well for me, it's amazing how you start on this path and it morphs and then checks and balances, and until you find your way through this. The business maze is one thing. So I've got a business management degree, so I understand the business end of things. But it's interesting how that's got to tie into the agricultural end of things, of which you think you've got control, but there's really a lot of variables of which you can't manage in there, and you
That's
just
exactly it.
You have to manage for the failure of them.
You need to do what the bees want to do. You need to watch the bees and understand what the bees are wanting to do and capitalize on that. You can help them do that better, and you can help them do that a little more efficiently, but you can't force them to do what they ain't going to want to do. That my first summer, I started to understand that, because I always say that the first thing that I noticed about bees that I thought was so masterful and incredible was comb building. And maybe that sounds stupid, but comb building has always been just amazing to me, how they build comb. And they're so great at it, and they're so willing to do it. And I watched them build the comb all through the spring and through the honey flow. And then I thought, this is just incredible. They'll build comb like crazy. And through August, and then I started, I kept expecting to build comb, and it got into mid to late August and they stopped building comb. And I thought, what's the matter with you? You've been building comb for months, and now you don't want to build comb. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And I
Lesson
started to
number
realize,
one.
okay, now is not the time to build comb. Now is the time to do something different.
Yep.
And I started to get the idea that you're not going to make the bees do anything they don't want to do. You just have to figure out what it is they're driven to do, get on board with that, leverage it, help them do that even better, or, more in a greater scale, or more efficiently perhaps. But boy, they've got to be with the program, because if they ain't with the program ain't going to happen.
Well, you make an interesting point, because I don't know how many other people on the video here tonight saw that, Charlie, but the bees are building comb off of the 1-to-1 sugar water like mad right now. So I put in one of your story frames, Brad. I put that in on Sunday, and the foundation is pretty much just about all drawn out. And on the one side, they're about 3/4 of the way down with brood comb already, and it's all just white virgin comb. And the empty frame that I put in there, they've got it built right up there too. So what does it say? The struggling underdog. Oh, I don't know if we could call Ian the struggling underdog.
What I'm doing is I'm just putting it all out there. I'm complaining on camera. It feels really weird sometimes. You should hear my brothers when they're putting a crop in. Like, holy crap. They're fussing over little details about compaction and water content and soil temperature. And, as they put that one seed at a time, they're packing it behind, and they follow behind with these little measuring sticks and just complain all day. throughout the entire seeding season. So,
So
it's what you call management, I think.
I thought you were going to say it runs in the family.
A bit of that too.
So I was saying that on I think it was Bob's film there last night. I feel I don't feel like a beekeeper because there's something I should be complaining about, but this year I got nothing to complain about. So I don't know if I can call myself a beekeeper
yet.
James, you know what you should do? I know a big beekeeper just north of here. I think he's got 4,000 hives, but what he does is he runs doubles. Like he's all indoors too. He runs doubles and he runs singles, like kind of splits his difference. And then he buys packages into just trying to get a piece of everything here and there and everywhere, because every year is a bit different. And this way you always get you always made the right decision. And you can hinge on it this way, or you can hinge on it that way, looking like indoor wintering isn't probably the best idea this spring. Again, is like it wasn't last spring. We're seeing a lot of negatives because of that. But if I would split my difference, maybe have some outdoor colonies too, I wouldn't be suffering as much, right? So might want to consider that.
That's definitely something to consider. One of the things that I think really helped me indoors this year is my my reefer unit, my AC. I think that really helped me because our temperature up here was all over. So I mean, we had like 10 or 15 degree days in February, but the apiary inside the building, it was a constant, steady, 3.6 to 4.8 degrees, and it didn't matter what it was doing outside, with the exception of I had a heater run away there in January. So middle of January, I got the alarm and raced out there. I think it was 18 or 20 degrees. I think that was on yours as well, wasn't it, Charlie? I think that was on your one of your nights.
What's that about the alarm system? Yeah, you went actually went into your shed, and it was getting pretty hot, and you were putting in fans and coolers and stuff like that. You had some bees flying, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, I had a heater run away, and of course I didn't have the chiller unit turned on in because I think it was like 18 or 20 below zero, so I didn't have the reefer unit turned on. But I really think that helped me out a whole bunch. I think I didn't have to worry about what the temperature was doing. I didn't have to worry about the fans coming on, So I think that I'm definitely going to hang on to that. I think I got one for Brad possibly too, that I just might have to load on the trailer there in I guess it's August.
Get your bees away a bit earlier too. That might be an advantage. This last fall, I think they flew themselves a little bit too much. I was thinking before that last heat wave, if I could just move them in, it was, second week of October. If I could have just moved them in instead of just having that long drawn out flight near the end, I think my hives would have been better for it.
Yeah. As soon as they're fed, as soon as they're heavy, get them in by Thanksgiving.
There's
Turn the reefer on.
No use from flying. Like Lloyd will talk about them. They just fly themselves to exhaustion, right?
Exactly. I was just going to cite that Lloyd would be proud with that kind of a plan for sure. It's exactly what he preaches.
Yeah.
That's what our bees do here. They just fly all year round. And that's kind of the, I think that's one of my struggling points here, is because they're not brooding up as heavily because of the time of the year and the shorter days, but yet they're out flying and burning resources. So they don't have the life the life expectancy, I guess, as they would if they were just in a cluster, not moving, and able to conserve their resources.
So here's
astounding how long they last, how little they eat, and how long they last when they're just in that cluster, in that cool environment, and stasis cluster. It's just astounding. They last for 5-6 months, and they eat next to nothing as a colony. It's just amazing. So yeah, I can understand that concern, Bob.
So here's a question I'm going to maybe pose to Ian and Brad, maybe even Doug. Um, I haven't seen my numbers in my hive dwindle off like I would expect to see in early season like this. For the first, well, they've been out for 21 days now. I would have expected to see some of those older bees in the colony dwindle away. Now I'm getting into the brooder hatching out as you saw in the videos and stuff like that tonight. So my bee numbers are probably going to start leveling off somewhere, I would think. But with those larger hives and that temperature like that, what's the possibility that they may have had a rather larger brood for a longer period of time, or in the fall, to build that bee number up? Is that a possibility? Because I would have expected to see more die off than what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you could have had brood. How late were you into the colonies?
I didn't get into them after I put them in. So actually, I didn't get into the colonies after I started feeding them, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to bust them open or disturb them. So I don't think I went into them after probably. I'm going to say probably about the 20th of September. So at that point in time, I made sure they were queen right, and I was feeding them pails and stuff like that. I think that was the last time I got into them, just to make sure that they were all good, and then put them away. And at that time, they still had, in some cases, I'd have to go back and look at my notes, but I think in some cases they still had 3 or 4 frames of brood.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a good pollen flow there too, right?
We did, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that always helps. I get into a dearth here after the crops. I don't have a lot around, so the bees are scraping to find any type of pollen, and that's why I feed so much supplement. I'm always focused on that, because I'm trying to provide them the nutrients, because they have nothing out there, and she shuts down pretty quick. But except when I feed them, that I can push them a little bit further, and that helps quite a bit.
Right.
Makes quite a difference for me.
I did give him pollen patties just at the beginning of September there as well. I think I gave each one of them, I think, at least a pound, just to try and get that really, really going. So I don't know if maybe that was something that helped me out.
Could be. Protein's protein, but pollen, I always figure, like, I look at protein patties as being something that complements the pollen. Like, you're not going to build a nice nest just on the protein patty itself, or you're not going to, like, especially in the end of the year, I can never reignite that nest to rear more brood just on protein. You need pollen to do that. So you had to have had some pollen coming in, and with that coming in with that supplement might have just given them just a little bit more of a charge. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, so I was quite fortunate, because both of my apiaries last year were right beside an alfalfa and clover field, of which they harvested early, and then they harvested it the second time, and they actually had a third bloom on it. Just so that worked out perfect for me. I mean,
you're just a little Goldilocks over there. I mean, how better should we set you up?
It's just like I said. So that probably really, maybe I should be making notes of all of these things like that. But
well, if we think James lives a perfect life as a beekeeper, we just have to rewind to June and July, and we can realize that shit does hit the fan in James's apiary from time to time.
You should rewind to last week when he had to drive 22 hours to get queens.
Yeah. So, James, I had a question. It might sound like a stupid question, but I know in my hives this time of year, I can see those old bees. You can identify those old bees. They look horrible. So they look like they're just The Walking Dead. Do you see very many of those?
There's a few of them. There's not a whole bunch, and I mean, Leah took some really good close-up pictures of the frames and stuff like that tonight. There's definitely some of those in there. The darker bees, you can tell the end of the wings are all ragged, and they look
don't have any hair. They're mostly black.
Yep, but I would say a very small. Well, you guys were on there. I'd say it was a very small population that were those old bees, there's a lot of them looked really good. Like, and
I didn't catch it, but the comments I heard was your bees looked awful calm, and those old bees not calm, because they're the ones that are flying, so they're always gonna, every time you disturb them, all those old bees are just gonna take off. Is what I noticed anyway. If
yeah,
if you got a hive full of really young bees, they're not gonna fly anyway, so it's no big deal. But
yeah,
those old
they're.
bees, it just as soon as you open that, and I think that's what was that one that Charlie keeps laughing at that I opened up and they took after me.
I gotta watch
I
that
think
video.
that's what that one was, that I opened that thing up and they were just all over me. It was crazy. I think that was just a hive. It was a strong hive, but I think it was just one that had just a lot of old cranky bees in it. So just little things that you can sort of
Well, I'm going to go back and
know,
take a look
get a,
because I was holding it, taking a look at it, and like I say, you see a few of them like that. But being as it's going to be on the video here, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take a look. Did you make it full frame, Charlie?
I made it full frame, and then now when your wife was moving around, it's a little shaky, but
Oh, that was probably me. She's in the other room, so that was all me. Trust me. Yeah, that was me.
But when you held frames up, I mean, you could see them quite well.
Yeah, you could see the larva and everything in there.
Yeah, detail was pretty good, I thought.
But yeah,
I can't say as we notice spring, dwindling in the spring a whole lot, other than when you get this crap weather and it kind of shuts down the brood rearing. Then you'll notice it a bit. But other than that, no, they stay pretty good in the.
I was just what I've seen in the past. Now I've only ran single hives up until last year. This is the first year that I've been actually, well, I guess you put it, full on sideline business, small commercial, whatever you want to look at it, how you want to look at it. Up until this point, they were all single hives and maybe some non-conventional. I am a little disappointed that you didn't see it, Brad, because I was sporting my my flow suit and my flow smoker there, and I couldn't resist. I really do like that smoker. The suit not so much, but I really do like that smoker.
no comment.
No comment. Nothing he can say would be good at this point, so he chooses to defer.
I had to rub that one in, but
I've said all I can, and it's not making any impact. So
I never said I was smart. I never once said I was smart.
You can't masquerade as a sideliner or a commercial beekeeper and wear a flow hive jacket. We've been over this, James.
Actually, well, I brought that nice jacket in. I ordered another one because I ordered that extra large Ultra Breeze jacket. Loved it for the one time that I wore it, and then Alan wore it, and of course it was just a little bit big for me. I guess I'm not an extra large. I'm not quite the man I thought I was, but so I've ordered a large, so it's on its way. But Alan pretty much has claimed that one. But
that's a sweet jacket, man. Those are absolutely the top jacket in my opinion.
I like it. And I even had to dig in on Ian, of which I don't know whether he got it too, but I remembered my smoker.
I've noticed that Ian's smoker has been in really good form lately. I was going to congratulate him on that. The last video I saw, you had some really good smoker action.
Had some
going
smoke
there.
going there. Yeah. I was practicing all winter, so I'm good to go now.
Lloyd been out helping you with that or something, or you been over to Murray's place and getting him to show you how?
Do you notice the smoker I'm using, Brad?
Yes, I noticed it.
Yeah.
Yes, you
It's
fired
still
that
kicking.
thing up, eh?
Yeah, it's still kicking.
That looked
I
copper.
thought you were
is it?
keeping that one on the shelf.
I was, but then I ran over the other one, so then I had to use this one, and it's
You ran over it.
Haven't run over this one yet.
Well, I noticed that one, and I kind of thought that was on the shelf, and now it's all,
Yeah,
it's being used and everything.
it
Well,
was
I'm
my
glad it
display
works well.
smoker. It works. Yeah, it's
It's
just a touch cumbersome, but once you get it lit and going, it gives just a beautiful smoke. It's very.
yeah.
You can direct it really nice. Yeah, I
So
like it.
so there's a is there something about the copper smoker that's just a little bit better, or what?
I don't know. It's not denting like the other ones do. Um, the bellow it's a lot better bellow. It doesn't wear out as quick.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
and yeah, it just keeps
and
a
I
better
want to give the
flame.
backstory. I
You got a four-wheel over that one.
after after Ian reading his daily blog the first, and I don't
quite a while
remember
ago.
how long. It was about 2015. I started beekeeping 2015, and my first mentor was my wife, and then my second mentor was this guy who wrote a daily blog online, and I would read that, and I realized that A, he's in Manitoba, and B, his season seems to be just maybe a few days to a week ahead of mine. It was perfect because then I could see what he's doing. I could run to the store and get what I needed and do that with my bees, and it worked out really good. And that went along for a while. It was a year or two, I suppose, and then I got bugging him quite a bit, and he didn't seem to mind that too much. And so after a little while, I ordered up a copper smoker, a really nice copper smoker, I thought, online, and sent it over to his address, just as a thank you for all of the help that he had given me over the period of time. And so anyway, that's the the copper smoker story.
Yeah, I'll show you the other one I have.
The pancake smoker.
The pancake smoker. Yeah. It's on the wall.
Oh, holy
just, just a reminder to the older smokers not to get trapped underneath a tire in a truck.
It's not even a 3D smoker anymore.
It's a warning to all the other smokers. You know what?
It's like a warning.
It's like
Yeah,
you used
exactly.
to put the flowers in the big book to press the flowers. That's the kind of thing that the smoker has had happen to it now.
Brad, it appears your box is in Detroit.
It's in Detroit now. I just looked. Yeah. I can't. We're talking about jackets. I can't.
Yeah, that's got me looking.
Jacket.
I'm like, did you get it yet? Nope, still in Detroit.
No, it'll be another week.
Holy!
Oh, you know what? That's maybe what we need to do, Bob. Maybe
our custom agent.
Yeah,
Our
I was
custom
going to say.
agent.
Go ahead, Doug. Oh.
Yeah, it'll be sitting at customs here soon.
I was just going to say
like
maybe I got to send a jacket to Bob's place and then pick it up here on the 12th.
Maybe that's the expensive part of getting those Ultra Breeze here. That's an expensive jacket once you get it here. That's a $300 jacket, but it's worth it. Boy, that's a nice jacket.
I mean, even that box, it was 11 pounds. It cost $70 US to ship.
Yeah. It was a big cube, eh? That little truck would use up a lot of space.
Yeah, the truck. I mean, everything else is in there pretty good, but the truck.
Yeah.
Caused to use a bigger.
That little truck's going to cost me a lot of money by the time it gets here, but it's pretty cute. Pretty cute.
James will have to be taking his back with him.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, get a truck while you're there. That's a pretty cute truck.
Yeah, I'll have to get a truck.
I got one for him outside.
The shipping prices have gone crazy. My tables that I used to ship all over the States, it used to cost me about $80 to ship a grafting table out.
Wow.
And now it's costing me about 160. I just the other day I managed to finally get Jason's out from your giveaway and on your channel there, Bob. And the freight on that was $187.20, I think.
Wow.
But so freight has gone way up.
That's amazing. I gotta increase the freight on those pallets. I don't think I'm making enough on those. It's 4 hours round trip to deliver those pallets. Hey, did you get those screen boards, those double screen boards?
Yeah, I haven't used them. They look good. Yeah, they look really
okay.
good.
Good.
Once I put them to use, then I can start figuring how to improve them. But they're pretty much exactly the way Bob built his, right? Except ours has that.
They're
that
very
divider.
similar. The holes are centered the other way. His are centered on the like put the long way, and I put them side
yeah.
by side kind of thing, just so that I could put that optional divider in the center for your if you wanted to use a 5 frame.
Yeah.
5
Yeah, I
frame
have a
box.
few big colonies. I have, what do I have? Carry Salvage 65, just, 1.5 frame hives. I don't know why we wasted our time doing it, but we did. And they're sitting in the hot room right now. So I'm going to take those. I'm going to stack them on top of a big one just to see what happens, just to play around with it for a bit. I like to have queens kicking around just in case they have a colony that's failed and I don't want to spend money on it. So I drop one of those ones in just to keep it going. Yeah, until the cells come.
Yeah. I wish I kind of worked all day on that. I wish I kind of had time. I'd have built a few for myself, just to do that exact thing. The thing that I always kind of when I'm going to do that kind of thing is then how do I feed that bottom colony is my issue.
Yeah, that's
right?
the problem with that.
Then I got to get a frame feeder, heaven
Yeah.
forbid an entrance feeder or something. So that's always just another limitation of a pail.
What about so I was experimenting with a oxalic acid drip system, and I used a lawn irrigation. What's the word I'm looking for? The little nozzle on the end that lets it drip out. So I was mucking around with that, but that would be easy to attach that. You could just put it in that feeder before you went, and you could fill the bottle up or the jug up on the outside, and they would be able to take it right from that. What do they call emitter? That's what they call it. The emitter size. So what I was doing with the oxalic acid is I was mucking around with the drip, and I had emitters set up on basically a frame that you go in there, and it would drip down depending as to where it was. And I just had it so that it screwed onto a 4-liter pop bottle as I was mucking around, kind of R&Ding it a little bit. But you'd be able to feed the bees that way underneath that double screen board quite easily. And you could
feed
set
them in the shed that way too. That's kind of a neat idea.
You could, and they wouldn't take it the way you could set it up. They wouldn't take it from the emitter unless there was something there to drip it. So, food for thought.
Well, guys, it's almost midnight here. I've got bee work to do in the morning, I know you guys. Snow. You ain't got
I got nothing. I got nothing to do. No.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
They can run the shutdown without me.
I went and picked up my glue so I can start building my pallets again. Building Ian's pallet again.
I think we got ripped off on that shipping.
I'm gonna watch the snow.
I'm gonna have to watch a rerun. See James Bees.
I'm gonna go back and take a look, because now you got me interested, because I really didn't see a whole lot of old bees, but I'm gonna go back and take a look now.
But I'm gonna bugger off for the evening, so it's nice speaking with you guys. So I know you guys got another 3-4 hours in you.
No, I got to get up early in the morning here again. I even cut out early on Brad there last night.
Really?
Oh, we
figured you guys were
cut it down.
In there for a while.
Normally we're there till after midnight, my time, which is like 1 o'clock Brad's time. But
Ian doesn't know that trick yet. That when we shut down the live stream, we're still talking in the back room afterwards.
Yeah. Tell everybody.
Well, yeah, most people bug out before we even shut off anyway, so only the hardcore guys stay
you still got 42 people on here, Charlie. That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad for this late, I'll have to say.
But anyway, guys, good seeing everybody.
Ian,
thanks for showing your face again.
Yep. Well, have a good evening.
Talk to you later.
How do you say goodbye to that one, right?
Well, I've only met Ian once in real life, right at the Hive Life conference.
Here, I'm gonna reach up and
I give him shit. It's like I think that's why he's like, you know what? Bob gives me shit every time he talks to me. Like it didn't matter the first time he came on the live stream, whatever. He's like, well, that guy's just real. I can just, I can just hang with him.
He's a finger puppet.
Finger puppet.
Good night, Bob.
All right, good night, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and shut in the broadcast.
Good night, everyone.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for coming in, and we'll see you next Friday.
That's good
Night,
chat
Charlie.
tonight.